Welcome to the Putt Crew. I'm your captain, Camille, and I have my alternates with me.
I'm Mal.
And I'm Robert.
And we have a returning rookie with us this week already. Goddamn.
At what point does she get to not be a rookie anymore?
Yeah.
Is my question.
When I say so. Welcome back, Emily from Believe in Anything Pod. Hi.
Hello, hello. I'm very happy to be back.
You cried preparing for today's episode, so excited to get into that.
I did. I'm the one who picked these chapters, too, to come on, and then I regretted it, so.
No, that second chapter, the first one I was like, wow, here we are. And then the second one I was like, oh, fuck, here we are.
Here we are. I hate it here. I missed you guys.
We missed you.
See-do.
No, I'm leaving.
We can't.
Guys.
But we haven't seen any dudes fuck in these two chapters, so you can't say
Oh,
see-do.
that's true.
That's true. There was no sex.
Emily, remind everybody of your socials and where they can find you.
Yes. So, podcast, we're at Believe in Anything Pod. And then if you want to follow me personally, I am at MEM Reads What? Even though
Yay.
M has not read anything except heated rivalry fan fiction for 6 months. So
Same. My Goodreads is literally just the heated rivalry books.
Have we determined if Storygraph tracks fanfic?
I keep saying it does. I heard at some point that it does. I have not tested it.
someone's going to get real rich if someone makes this happen because
I honestly, that's none of my business how much fanfic I'm reading, to be quite honest. I would not be surprised if I have read 150 books worth of fanfiction at this point.
No.
Like, it's been ridiculous. I've read several 100,000-word fanfics, like, in a day, and it's a problem.
I'm starting to get confused on which ones I've already read. Today I was on the Demon Ilya Rozanova tag. Who knew that?
Demon
existed?
Ilya Rozanova. Hell yeah.
Okay.
No, hell yeah is right.
The most recent heated rivalry fic that I read is, of course, a classic. It is So Close by Baby Double O.
Robert, do not talk about
Stop
that fanfic
plugging
again.
this fic. Jesus Christ.
Which, if people will remember from when we were covering the show, is the fic that I revealed that I read before reading the books, in which when Shane gets hit in that game, instead of like getting knocked out and then put in the hospital, he dies.
What's wrong with you?
No, exactly.
And the reason I read it again this time is because I'm like, okay, I actually have an emotional attachment to the book version of these characters now. Will this fanfic hurt me if I read it? The answer, yes. Yes, it did.
It also hurt you the first time, so I don't know why you thought it wouldn't.
Yeah, but like, it hurt me harder.
Okay. All right.
Robert, you're reading this as we go. Like, you haven't read all of Long Game?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
you're gonna
I am
have-
reading this as we go. We got a recent comment on one of our episodes being like, oh my God, I forgot that Robert's reading along. Yes, I'm reading along. These first two chapters are the first time I've ever opened up the Long Game.
Woo!
Noob. So today we are diving into chapters 1 and 2 of The Long Game by Rachel Reid. So here is your fucking spoiler warning for literally all of the books and the show and everything.
Just in case we want to make parallels.
Emily, I don't think you're going to find this insulting. We do have a more special guest with us this episode.
No, this is the only time I'll allow it. Yeah. No, definitely more special.
Cool. So,
Camille, who
everyone
is our
gets
special
to say
guest?
hello to Shane Hollander. He's eating my finger right now. Shane Hollander is a 4.5-week-old kitten. He weighs 1 pound. Say hi, Shane.
How many
Say
apples
hi.
tall is he?
Oh, not even one, probably. He is the
Oh
size
my
of 1 can
God.
of ginger ale. If you have
He
kept up
is.
with our socials, he is
That
stretched
there's
out
not
right
a
now, so he's
single
real long.
thought in his brain.
I'm starting to rumor that
I like
I
that you
can't
can just
handle it.
like with kittens, you know?
He yearns for the hockey rink. Put some tiny skates on those paws.
No, he was in some Reeboks earlier. In a single Reebok.
Yeah.
He was in a
One
Reebok.
single Reebok.
More Reeboks than Shane Hollander has ever worn before.
True. He's perfect. Can we have a game where if like the chapters get too sad, we say like Shane break and you pull him up?
And you get the cat out.
Absolutely.
You get the cat.
Yep, I can do that. He is
Okay,
climbing
keep him
me
on
right
standby.
now.
Pulling his cat out.
So here, are you going to chill there?
Oh my gosh.
I thought you would like that, Robert.
That's a good. You stole my joke again, but this time you made it funny, so I can't get mad. Anyway, we like to make, or at least I like to make the joke that when we say spoilers for the long game, Shane and Ilya are having sex or a couple, they're in love or whatever, that was just all based off my knowledge of the show. And like, I guess towards the end of the book, I'm like, oh, I've read the entire book. Now I'm going in completely blind. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen. Which is funny. You would think that I retain some of the things that Mal and Camille have said out loud when they're like, oh, to spoil the long game, but this scene reminds me of this in the future. I blank it all out. I don't listen to women, remember?
Okay, no, like you truly know nothing. I was going to ask, like, you don't remember anything that we've said?
I have retained virtually nothing.
Well, there's going to be a whole bunch of sad fic that you can read that this will open up.
And if you would like to hear a bunch of little meows and Camille trying to get Shane Hollander to make noise, you should tune to after the end credits.
There will be a cat there at the end credits. Fantastic.
Yeah, you never know when something's going to happen after the credits. You know, sometimes there are things like Mal's chair exploding.
Like me absolutely eating shit because my chair broke.
Chapters 1 and 2 of The Long Game. Here we go. It's July.
The book doesn't tell us the year the way Heated Rivalry did, but it is in fact 2020. COVID does not exist in the Game Changers universe, and the book was published in 2022, so like this was an intentional choice. So I think Rachel Reid is trying to tell us that had there been an out gay hockey player in the NHL, we could have prevented the pandemic.
I agree. My note was, that's my semen cap. I'm always horny.
Yeah.
But
that's the secret to world peace is more gay athletes. The women are doing their part. The men haven't done fucking shit. So,
you know, I think if the men in the NHL were fucking raw, then I don't think we would have had the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that you're right. Mal, I'm so excited to see you stepping into your truth and admitting that you would like men to be fucking raw.
I would, yeah, because if the men stop fucking the women, then there's more women for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Hey. And you know what? I think we also need more Smurfs banging raw.
I agree.
Is that the official political stance of the Puck Crew, that we need more men to fuck raw?
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say hashtag Smurfs fucking raw. Yeah, absolutely.
That from Hudson Williams' lips to God's ears on that one, okay?
A tragedy that we never got to hear that, honestly.
Anyway, opening line, chapter 1, Shane had never wanted anything so badly in his life. His goal was right in front of him, and nothing would stop him from reaching it. Brother.
This really, like, it makes it seem like he is playing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, he wants this so bad. And actually, fun fact, the book has not told us this at this point. I mean, I guess it tells us in chapter 2, but Shane literally just won the cup in June. Like, the Metros are the reigning champs. He also was the playoff MVP, and yet this is what he wants more than anything else in his life.
It's a great opening sentence. I'm hooked.
You never know what's happening. I'm like, is he 0.2 seconds from an orgasm? Like, what?
Right.
Maybe all the above. But disclaimer, can we just make a huge long game disclaimer about how I personally, and I think other people in this room agree, support Shane Hollander's rights and wrongs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if anyone is expecting anyone on this pod to say a negative thing about Shane Hollander, look elsewhere.
Defending Shane Hollander online is not enough. I need a gun. When season 2 of this show drops, I am going to become, like, the most Republican version of myself, and I will need a gun.
Okay, well, I don't know about all of that, but I will be also in the trenches with you.
I have something negative to say about Shane Hollander. He is asshole.
Okay, wait. Mal, would you like to tell everyone about the Tumblr post that I sent you this morning?
No.
You don't?
No, because I don't want to give that person any thoughts, because I was looking at their thing and I was like, you were making literally 0 points. And in saying...
No, but you know what? They said, but they admitted that. They were like, I'm just being a bitch, and I do love the podcast.
I know.
They said that they could tell when listening to our podcast that we weren't Shaniacs, because we were talking about Ilya during Shane's panic attack instead of talking about, like,
what?
The complexities of Shane's... Mal is holding up her Shane Hollander t-shirt.
Not a Shaniac? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not a Shaniac because I'm normal.
Shane Hollander is literally crawling over my toes right now.
Shane Hollander is asshole.
Real Shane Hollander fans don't say Shaniac, first of all. That's a terrible... It's terrible.
Yeah, we say Shane Malama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
No, No, but I will say, okay, so here's my disclaimer for the long game. It's not that I won't ever say anything bad about Shane. It's that I'm going to say a lot of bad things about Shane. I'm also going to say a lot of bad things about Ilya.
Right.
Sure.
They both fuck up so bad.
They
So
are
much.
both bad partners learning to be better partners to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's not give Shane all the slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book just isn't from his POV.
Here's my wish for the long game. Let's see. What do I wish? What's something I wish for there to be a villain that Shane and or Ilya have to combat against. And I don't mean like a fucking like
Physical fight.
like a physical fight. I mean like either society or like some like coach in the NHL or whatever, or some shit like that is like an asshole to them. That's what I want.
Any other wishes? This is fun.
At least 7 sex scenes.
No, they're celibate. Did no one tell you they're celibate in this book?
Damn it.
They're playing the long game.
So
Oh, shit.
the new thing that I'm keeping track of now that I no longer have a scoreboard because we're on the same team,
Because
I'm
you
going
never
to keep track
finished it.
of sex scenes. We're going to see when we hit 7 for Robert because if we hit 7.
Right.
Actually, in chapter 3, there's just 7 sex scenes. So look forward to that, Robert.
Wait, I want to come back.
It's like 2 sentences. Ilya and Shane had sex. They
7
both
times.
came. Indent. New scene. Shane and Ilya had sex. Shane came. Indent.
Spoilers, no spoilers. You could just have one that says, Ilya came. Ilya came again? What the fuck?
No, I did see a sex scenes breakdown for the Game Changers books.
For the entire
and
series?
It was like,
yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, for the entire series. And it was like everybody else had sex, half as much as Shane and Ilya. And I was like, these 2 fucking freaks.
Freak for freak. Let's keep going.
So Shane and Ilya are racing. Shane really hates to lose to Ilya. That's all there is to it.
No, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
And Ilya ends up beating Shane and says he almost let him win because the view behind was so good and he likes Shane's little short shorts. Again, always horny when it comes to Shane Hollander.
I had a question is, what do you guys, like, why do you think this race is so unbearable for Shane? Because he's supposed to be in, like, tip-top shape, right? So are we just saying that Ilya's a better runner and that's what it is? Like, are we just hearkening back to the treadmill race from Heated Rivalry?
That's what I think. It's like another parallel of that scene and them just being competitive. I love specifically the sentence, Ilya winked at him before speeding past him like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I need Connor's story to just go, meep.
I think you can't, completely disregard the height difference in this context because, like, longer legs are going to make it easier to sprint faster because you're going to be able to take longer strides and, like,
Yeah, Ilya is
Aerodynamics.
like, what, 5-6 inches taller than Shane? That's what they said in the last book?
5.
How much taller?
5?
5.
5.
4? Unimagined.
5 inches.
Yeah.
5 inches.
You looked at me
But
like
I
I
love-
was speaking crazy when it said 5, 6, 6. No, it's 5. I'm like, okay,
It's
I was
not
off by an
6.
inch.
6 is too many.
I was off
But he's
by
7
an inch.
inches taller than he's 7 inches taller than Hayden, and that's important, and I want to keep bringing that up.
I was imagining Ilya like, meow.
Yeah.
On your left. It's like, okay, neither of us is Captain America, but watch this.
I love they're still competing. I love that Ilya's calling him Hollander.
Hollander.
I love that Shane's still saying fuck you and shut up instead of I love you. Like, just, it's good. 10 out of 10.
We're being thrown right back into very familiar territory, but it's also very new. Like, there's something very different about this. That it's like, they're alone together outside.
Yeah, it's that treadmill scene, but they're outside. So it's like, it does show growth in that way because there's a lot in these first 2 chapters, like symbolism of light and dark and the difference between inside and outside. And I feel like it's showing that there is some kind of difference already when we first see them.
I think this is me really realizing for the first time that, hey, guys, 2017 and 2020 are 3 years apart. You're like, that's the second Mal said that. I'm like, shit, yeah, you're right. It's been 3 years. And I imagine other stuff happens in the other books within those 3 years. And we maybe catch a sneak peek of Shane and or Ilya. But doing this jump and going from them just finally confessing that they're in love to, oh, they've been in love together, going through the motions of being a couple for 3 years. That's crazy.
Don't worry, Robert. They're still no better at communicating.
I think about how much my life changed between 2017 and 2020, like July 2017, I had just finished my first year of college. And July of 2020, I was moving to New York for a real big girl job. And like, that's wild. So Shane is upset that Ilya can outrun him because it doesn't make sense. Ilya says maybe he should eat carbs. Shane says he eats healthy carbs. Ilya says he eats nothing. First Shane's diet mention. But also that might be why he's having trouble running, because like there's a reason that people before they run a marathon carb load. Like you eat a lot of bread, you eat a lot of pasta, like you need those quick burning carbs for fuel. And like if you don't have those like carbs, you're not going to be able to be quick. So that it may contribute.
When Mel says before a marathon, she means like the night before. She doesn't mean pull a Michael Scott and eat Don't eat an Alfredo like right before the marathon.
It's actually not even the night before. It's like if your marathon is on Sunday, you want to have your carb load meal on like Friday night.
Yeah, it seems he beshat himself for sure.
Yeah.
And then next is like, you smoke almost never. You had a cigarette last night. How do you know? I have a nose. And then Ilya boops Shane's nose and is like a cute one.
A good one.
We all have cuteness aggression over Shane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, no, I highlighted that line.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ilya booped the tip of Shane's nose. A cute one.
And you can also tell that 3 years have passed too. They seem more touchy. They in more like intimate relationship ways, like the boop and then him adjusting the necklace.
The necklace
feels so like coupley. It's very cute.
The adjusting of the necklace.
I need someone to know that I was rewatching episode 2, and after the forehead kiss, I swear to you, Shane touches Ilya's necklace, like plays with it, but the forehead kiss is like distracting you from that moment. And that's kind of why he pulls out of his reach, because he's touching the necklace.
Do you know what I noticed about episode 2 recently that I'd never noticed before? Is that when Shane crawls across the bed in Vegas, that he grabs Ilya's thigh, like from between his legs, and pulls his crotch into his face. And I'm like, you go, little freak. I love this for you. I never noticed. It's just so dark that I never noticed that he literally slides his hand between his thighs and pulls him in. Good for him.
I feel like a conspiracy theorist whenever I'm like, did you know? I'm like back here like rewinding 2 seconds.
I like counting the ginger ales.
Yeah.
Like all the different scenes that you can see ginger ale in. They're all over the place. It's
no,
great.
I'm here full like red string pinned up on the board, and I'm like, so actually,
it's gone now because I deleted my TikTok, but I posted very early on like all of the things you may have missed on Heated Rivalry and like the tiny little details. And I remember the show hadn't even finished yet, so I used the song "I'll Believe in Anything" on the post. And then after episode 6 came out, people were like, are you a psychic? And I was like, no, that song is in episode 3. And it was the title of episode 6. So I figured the song was going to come back.
You should have just gone with you being a witch.
So there's all this casual intimacy. I really love this. I love that they're outside and being casually intimate with each other. And I was thinking that maybe our joke, no, it's not going to. Like, maybe we can make both. But I was going to say the joke from situationship behavior could evolve to boyfriend behavior. Like, this is not boyfriend behavior.
This is husband's behavior.
Like,
unfortunately, Camille, here's the thing. This is also not situationship behavior, so you can pry that joke from my cold dead hands.
You know, you're right. This is not situationship behavior.
no.
I was a fool.
I also think it's very important to me that Shane is going full gay stereotype and has embraced the slutty little short shorts. Like, how short do we think that inseam is?
The way I envisioned these shorts are the ones from the montage in the beginning of episode 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also,
That's
I
what I'm
think these
thinking
shorts
of.
say Canada across the ass.
Okay, no.
Like, no, please.
Canada.
Literally, Ilya gets down on his knees at Shane's butt and just goes, oh, Canada.
Oh my gosh, Jacob, write this down.
Jacob, write this down,
Jacob, I think we've said it before. Once again, Jacob, if you listen to this podcast and anything we say you think would be funny, like, you can have it.
We would just like to be invited to the set and or, you know, something like that. Like, or the premiere, you know.
Come talk to us on the podcast, like.
Yeah.
Or just release the show and let us enjoy it, you know?
You could just be a guest.
So Shane's hair is also longer than it's ever been. He grew it during the playoffs because he can't grow a beard. And Ilya likes his long hair. Fantastic.
I vaguely remember from the Guess What Happens Next episode we did. Someone gets a man bun, ponytail, something like that. I don't remember if it's Shane or Ilya, but I see Shane has long hair and I'm like, Spidey sense, tingling.
Well, but here's the thing. Ilya had a man bun and he did Rivalry, and we didn't get that in the show.
He did have a man bun.
In Vegas, he has a man bun, and we didn't get that.
When in Vegas, you make mistakes. Again, we have nothing personal against man buns. Anyway.
Love, Shane still can't grow a beard in either sense.
Ooh.
I also think he's very brave to run in short shorts. Like, I need as much fabric as possible because I chafe so bad.
Yeah, I run in jeans.
God, Robert, what?
I sleep in jeans. No, I don't anymore.
I run in jeans. I don't run in jeans. I don't run. My cardio is like 20 to 30 minutes at a 12 incline at like 2.3 speed. That's my cardio as I'm on my weight loss journey. Hey, gang, diet and exercise fucking sucks because I'm at the point where I should have lost about 10 pounds and I have lost about 10 pounds, which means fuck, it works. So I have to keep doing it. Ugh.
Damn.
Here's what I really like is that Shane's like, oh, so you like the shorts? And Ilya's like, yes, and I think if you got hard, your dick would rip through them. And I'm like, whoa, okay, there he is.
That escalated quickly.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It took us like 2 pages before Ilya got freak. I applaud the self-restraint.
This man is always bricked up. He is always ready. He is always horny when it comes to Shane.
And Shane's always on standby, ready to be bricked up, too.
Oh, yeah. Except for right now, because they're outside. Even though they're surrounded by trees and no one is around, Shane is still like, danger, danger, we're outside.
Thick trees. Very thick trees. And Ilya has a thick tree, too.
So Ilya decides to tackle Shane to the ground, so he's on top. Likely place for him to be.
Totally.
Shane says he's disgusting. Ilya says they're both disgusting and kisses him. Shane says they need to go home and shower, hopefully together.
I really like that Ilya helps Shane up because it seems like just this little thing. But Ilya usually is like the one to trip him or knock him over or laugh at him when he nearly falls. Like, very frequently in these books, I feel like Shane chases Ilya for a kiss and Ilya pulls back just to watch Shane fall, you know?
I feel like 3 years ago, he would have like held out his hand and then Shane would have reached for it. He would have been like,
psych.
So Shane is really annoyed that Ilya is full of energy, right? And Ilya's like, wow, you could help with that. Like, God damn it, here we go again.
Like, Ilya, my God.
Took him 2 pages before he started to get his freak on, and he's getting his freak on hard.
Good for him.
It's really fun to me that I'm like, okay, you have been in this relationship for 3 years and the horniness has not died down at all. And I love that for you.
goals.
They can't have sex because they have to have a call with their agent.
Ilya has signed with Shane's agent in the last year. He's left the Russian agent that he's had since he was a teenager because now he wants a Canadian agent. And so Shane has recommended his agent. Her name is Farah. And she is a great agent and also was supportive when Shane said he was gay. So, you know, the bar is in hell on the floor.
But she clears that bar.
Thank God.
Okay, so the thought is here that Ilya wanted to have a Canadian agent. So he separated from the Russian agent that he'd had since he was a teenager. And I just was thinking, like, that's another broken Russian tie.
Mm-hmm. And more of a Shane tie.
Yeah, so and I thought a lot during these first couple chapters about the way that there were so many ties in Russia that Ilya needed to break, and so many ties to Russia that he needed to break. But then it seems like he went a little. Now, I'm not trying to say that breaking with the Russian agent is the wrong thing. I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that was exactly what he should have done. But I will say that, and we can get into this a little bit more later, especially when it comes to the dream. I have some really deep thoughts about that, I think. But I think that he goes a little trigger happy in cutting all those Russian ties and kind of cuts it all out completely. And I think that contributes to his depression, actually.
Yeah, I think he's very like, nothing matters except for Shane. Like, everything I do is for Shane. And it doesn't need to be, because the thing is, Shane still has a life outside of Ilya.
Correct.
And Ilya doesn't.
So Ilya wants to tell Farah about them, and it scares the hell out of Shane. The quote is, "What? Today? Now?" Despite the summer heat and his blood still churned up from the run, Shane suddenly felt icy cold. Ilya shrugged easily. She probably knows already. The panic alarm that lived inside of Shane started blaring.
I'm obsessed with the panic alarm that lived inside of Shane. Like, I think that is such a good line.
I think that's just straight to the point, you know?
Yeah, I was glad because I was like, well, at least we know the batteries work. Ilya says that she probably knows about them already. And Shane says, why would she? And Ilya says, we are together at your cottage. You are gay. I am hot. Love that. Amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible work. Again, Mr. Rozanov. Wonderful.
He's so good at matching like Shane's anxiety and like simplifying it and being like, you're a chronic overthinker. Let's just brass tacks. You're gay, I'm hot.
Right.
And I love how he says it in like a way it's like, it makes sense to me. As I said in the last episode of Heated Rivalry, I can see the 2 + 2 = fish going on in his head.
Yeah.
And then Shane says, it's a bit soon. We should talk about it more. Figure out how to word it. And then he cuts himself off because Ilya says, is not complicated. And if she does not support us, then she should not be our agent, which is correct.
But importantly, because we have that clip that did very well, did it cut off with a hyphen or an M dash?
M dash.
M dash.
So the thought ran away from him.
No, ran away is ...
Fuck!
Yeah.
Ellipses.
I didn't learn anything.
Robert
doesn't listen to women.
Guys, English was not my best subject in school. I was a history and math bird.
Bird?
Bird.
I was going to say history and math boy, but I guess bird works better. Ooh, I like
No, and I think this is another case of Shane wanting to plan everything down to the like minutia and instead of like embracing the moment when it comes.
I also am thinking about here how Ilya's own sexuality doesn't come up in the consideration because there's no question of like, of course Ilya can't come out. Shane can. Of course Ilya can. And I trust, you know what? I trust our listeners. So I'm going to say that we'll say it once and then I won't have to reiterate it every frickin' time I say something. I'm not trying to villainize Shane, but Shane is so up his own ass with worry that he's like, Ilya, you cannot come out. I can come out, but you can't do it because then people will figure it out. And it's like, but he's not doing that maliciously. He just doesn't realize how awful that is.
He's so far up his own ass, there's barely any room for Ilya.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's, again, he kind of has a life outside of Ilya. Ilya does not have a life outside of Shane. And so I think, you know, Shane says, I'm gay. People aren't assuming, oh, you must be gay for Ilya Rozanov because there are other men in his life. Ilya is like, I'm bisexual. And then they're like, your close personal friend, Shane Hollander?
Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Yeah.
So they go home. They take longer than necessary in the shower.
So they did have sex.
Yeah.
Are we counting it?
No, because it's not a sex scene.
Uh-oh. So implied sex doesn't count.
Now, when Farah calls, they're still getting dressed. Ilya is only in his underwear, and he's like, I can answer the phone.
Whore.
Shane's like, absolutely not. You need to get dressed. And then he answers the phone, and again, we have another, like, police sketch. She dressed expensively. Farah is elegantly put together, as always. Right. So then Shane is trying to talk to Farah, gets distracted by Ilya's, quote, low-slung shorts and bare torso.
Whore.
He's getting distracted by them cum gutters.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gay, but like, so am I.
Yeah, I love that. Now, I won't name the interviewer because, boo, I think we can all agree. But there's a moment in an interview where Hudson is like, it's like an arrow pointing straight at his dick.
Yeah, it sure is. Shane, suck here.
So Farah smiles, and it says she's probably used to dealing with idiot hockey players by now. She was only about 10 years older than Ilya and Shane, but seemed twice as mature as they'd ever be.
That's how I feel, because I'm 28 talking to my friend who was like 38. I'm like, wow, you're such an adult. That's crazy.
But you're also an adult. Like, you also pay taxes and live and feed yourself and all that jazz.
No, everyone else is more of an adult than me.
I think I'm starting to get a hang on this adult stuff. I'm probably jinxing the fuck out of myself now.
Robert's gonna get audited.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That's my worst fear, dude. especially with how we're doing our taxes next year, especially how I'm doing my taxes, because I also picked up a potential part-time editing job that's going to pay. I'm like, fuck, I have to figure out that taxes. I'm like, and I'm going to need to hire someone to do my fucking taxes. And I'm so afraid that if I give them all these papers, he's going to be like, yeah, so my research indicates you owe the government $42 billion. I'm like, fuck.
Probably. So Farrah asks if they're having a good summer. Shane starts overthinking the fact that they're doing this call from his bedroom, which, yeah, that's a little odd.
Not only his bedroom, he's sitting on his bed.
Yeah.
The damning evidence, though, is the wet hair.
My dear friend Ilya Rozanov is here in my bedroom of my private cottage.
For more stories of Robert's past, I was once chilling with a guy, right? And he told me, oh, you should lay in my bed. It's really comfy. And like, I didn't read the context clues until later. And so I laid in his bed and it was very comfy and I took a nap. I then left 3 hours later, severely not fucked.
But you were well rested.
That was not what that guy wanted you to lay in his bed for.
Yeah, no, but I laid
So
there.
you were homeless.
So,
I mean, to be fair, he didn't like wake me up or anything. I woke up, he was playing on his computer. I'm like, okay, I guess you didn't really
Well,
want
that's
to.
kind of nice. He just let you rest.
Yeah, that was nice of him. But also,
Is he single?
I don't know. And I don't care. I'm engaged.
I know. I've been for other people. You're happy. I get
Emily
it.
was talking about for herself.
Yeah.
Shane thinks that she must be clocking the fact that they both have wet hair and decides to just come right out, pun intended, and say it. He goes, so you know how I'm gay? And then Ilya blurts out that he's bisexual, and Farrah says she thinks she sees where this is going.
Woo, 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 woo. First use of the actual word bisexual, like the whole word.
Yes,
Woo, woo, woo.
except for in My Dinner with Hayden. But like first in the book.
Most of that story was dedicated to the fact that Hayden doesn't like mushrooms. That doesn't count.
The mushroom hater. And so it is said that now they knew how easy it would be for someone to put two and two together if they knew the truth about Ilya's sexuality.
Yeah, so 2 and 2 is fish.
On one hand, true. On the other hand, you literally assumed that she already knew. You answered this call from Shane's bedroom. Like, I'm just like, there's no way she didn't at least suspect. I personally think that she's being nice here, like pretending not to have clocked this.
I think that there's a difference between, oh, I didn't clock that, and this isn't what I expected to hear when I woke up this morning, which is what she said. What she says is that she did not expect to hear this today when she woke up this morning. So that's not to say she didn't expect to hear it.
Farrah's like, I didn't think these bitches were ever coming out.
But I just think that she's a decent person. And the reason she didn't say anything is because she's a decent person, because she handles business, because that's not her business.
Right.
And
Farrah was raised properly. She knows that if, you assume something to make assumptions, well, that makes an ass out of you and Ming.
Yeah. So Farrah asks how long they've been together. Ilya says a long time, years. And she says not to ask stupid questions, but it's serious. Ilya says very, and, quote, Shane's heart flipped the way it always did when Ilya made it clear how much Shane meant to him.
This bitch is gay, good for them, and they're committed.
Guys, I don't think this is situationship behavior. It's the first time those words have been said on this podcast.
so my note for this next part is Rut-row Shaggy.
It should be Rut-row Raggy. If you're going to do the full Scooby-Doo voice, it should be Rut-row
Rut-row.
Raggy.
Oh, fuck off. Who cares? Farrah wants to know if they want to tell people. And Shane says no. Ilya says not yet.
Ruh-roh.
Oops.
And thus begins the long game. Anyway, bye guys.
And that's it. End episode. Roll credits.
Not me like standing in Shane's corner for a hot second, but I will say he did kind of agree to tell her pretty quickly, like same day. That totally didn't go with his usual plan. And sure, he then kind of backtracked with this not yet statement, but he was willing to do this and come out to a trusted person.
Emily, I know that the listeners can't see us, but you didn't have to pull that gun out when you said that. You can put it back.
I'm sorry, I need to see Shane Hollander really quick.
To paraphrase a joke from our finale episode that was in the epilogue. Wait, what the fuck did you just say? Not yet? We've been talking about this for 3
Sorry,
years.
Farrah, hold on.
Shane says that they wanted her to know because not many people do know, but that she should.
So what's our tally right now? 9 people that know?
Okay, I would like you to list each person that you think is included in that 9, Mal.
That's a lot of people. I don't think it's 9.
Shane, Ilya, Una, David, Rose, Hayden, Jackie, Ryan Price, and Farrah.
And Shane and Ilya. Wait, did you list them?
No, she included Shane and Ilya.
I said
You
Shane
can't
and Ilya
include
first.
Shane and Ilya in the list of people who know about Shane
Yes,
and Ilya.
you can.
No fucking
they
shit.
know.
You kind of need to, because they need to know that they're in a relationship together to make it
and
work.
I spent so much time being like, hey, Shane and Ilya are the only people who know about this relationship, because for so long they were. And I think that is important. And I think that they get to stay in our tally of people who know about the relationship. I'm sorry.
What about Hayden's kids?
How many does he have? I keep losing
I
track.
think 4.
No, they don't know.
Oh, because they
don't
haven't
They
know.
just they just know Uncle Shane and his friend Ilya, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't
They
know.
suspect.
It's
I'm sure they have
it's
great
kind
radar.
of like, you know, back in the olden days when you'd have an aunt who had a long-term female roommate and they lived in a 1-bedroom, you know?
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Farrah says that she's on their side, and whatever they need from her, they've got it. There's no precedent for NHL rivals being romantically involved, obviously, so we're in uncharted waters, but whatever happens, it definitely won't be boring. And Shane says he wouldn't mind boring, and Ilya says Shane loves boring.
So do you, Ilya.
Which, again, is his way of saying, I love you.
And then we get into the boring stuff, you know, the hockey part. I guess they play hockey or something. I'm here for the romance. You know, the boring stuff, the endorsements, opportunities. There's a documentary on ESPN that's going to be about their rivalry, which is crazy to me.
Does it say SBN?
Hey, the books are cool. They actually name shit. They said PlayStation in the last book instead of generic game station in the show. They name drop McDonald's in like a couple of pages. I'm like, fuck.
That's true.
The other important things they have to discuss, Shane's impending free agency at the end of the season and the charity hockey Yeah. And their charity hockey camps that are starting next week.
Are the saxophones starting to get louder for anyone else?
Impending.
I feel like the saxophones have just started at a volume I can hear, just because y'all said that. Hold on, I might be media literate if I can pay attention to what my friends are insinuating.
Well, we're women, so be careful. But she's like, oh, I'm glad that you like boring because I have a lot of boring shit to go through. And so they start to go through all the boring shit. And then Shane's internal monologue is like, none of this is boring.
He's such a nerd, parentheses affectionate.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit more info on the documentary. They were very careful not to give the real story away. They had separate interviews. There was a film crew that followed them around for a couple days. But for the most part, it seems like it's going to be mostly existing footage and like interviews with other people. I feel like I've seen these types of things because like this is the kind of stuff that like my father would just like have on in the background. Like it's like some documentary about like one of the greatest golfers of all time. And it's like, why would you make this? Who wants to watch this?
Okay, but to be fair, Ilya watched the tour of Shane's cottage documentary, so.
Okay, but like they made that for Ilya.
Yeah, I'm like, that's less because he's boring dad. It's more that he was in love with Jane Hollander.
Ilya was actually executive producer on that. They don't tell you that in the book, but the same way he orchestrated their commercial, he actually executive produced the tour of Shane's cottage. So he was like, put that man in shorts and have him do yoga. Thank you.
And let me see that. Yeah.
So as soon as the call with Farrah ends, Shane looks at Ilya and says, you want to be on top? No, I'm kidding.
No, Ilya pinned Shane to the mattress.
Yeah. And Shane is like, this went okay. And Ilya says, it went great. I told you. So Shane is so scared of things going poorly that when they go great, he like doesn't even label them positively, which I think really chips at Ilya's confidence. Like, why are you not relieved that everything just went well? What are you not saying? That went great and you're saying okay.
Like, I literally don't think that could have gone any better unless Farrah like sent them a gift.
She was like, good, there's a stripper at the door already. Phew, glad you chose today to say it.
A coming out balloon arch, if anyone's seen Sex Lives of College Girls. Anyway, I love that.
I think part of the reason why Shane is like, yeah, that went fine, it went okay, is because he wasn't the one who planned it. If he had planned it, then it would have been like, my plan is a success. I am smart. I did this the right way. Mm-hmm. But because it was out of his control, he's like, well, we didn't crash and burn, so I guess we barely passed.
Yeah.
Well, if Shane had planned it, it never would have been executed.
So we get a good quote here. Shane loved Ilya so much it physically hurt to contain it some days. He didn't want to be a gay icon or deal with any of the attention they would get from the hockey world, both good and bad, if they ever disclosed their relationship. But he wished he could love Ilya openly without dealing with any of that. Maybe one day after they were both retired. Shane knew some retired NHL stars, and they'd been able to easily fade into the background if they'd wanted to. Sometimes even if they didn't want to. Eventually, the world just stopped caring about them. Yeah, but not fucking Wayne Gretzky. Like, if you're gonna be top of your game, like, people are not going to forget about you. Like, you're gonna be Hall of Famers. So, like, there's gonna be all that shit going on. And, like, I personally don't believe that Shane Hollander would be able to step away from hockey. Like, he would want to stay involved. Like, he would go be a commentator. He would coach or something. Like, he would stay in the hockey world because, like, hockey is who he is.
Mm-hmm. Shane Hollander, hockey player 24.
Well, I think it's also, like, the anxiety of, like, pushing it to tomorrow, you know? He's like, that sounds too stressful to handle right now. And I think at this point, too, per their last conversation, well, the one from 3 years prior, like, that's the plan. And so he's like, this is the plan. There's no contrary belief. Per my last email, this was the plan.
The plan is for me to quit hockey and then fade into obscurity. Because honestly, I kind of feel like in the same way that like Ilya didn't really plan for the future before Shane, I don't think Shane really planned for the future beyond hockey. Like, I think everything beyond hockey to Shane right now is just sort of like a big blank space. And he's like, at that time, like, nothing will exist anymore. And that's just like not reality.
I also love the part where it's like he didn't want to be a gay icon. Like, Shane's like, if I come out right now, I will be a gay icon, which I kind of love.
If they invited Ilya to like be in the Ottawa Pride Parade, he would be like, absolutely. And Shane would be like, I would rather die. Shane's plan is not rooted in reality.
No, it never has been.
Yeah.
It never has been.
So at the moment, Shane and Ilya are both in their prime. They're 29 years old.
29?
Oh,
Yeah, that's the meme that Camille has put in our notes.
let me just stretch out my 29-year-old bones that actually don't hurt as much because I've been going to the gym consistently.
Oh my God,
so, you know
Robert,
what?
they're your age. That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is when, because they were younger than me for so long, I'm like, babies. And then Camille pointed out, like, oh, they're actually 4 years older than me, like, if you would have, like, put them up to current day. I'm like, fuck, these bitches are millennials.
Yeah, no, they both just turned 35. As someone who celebrates fictional character birthdays, I celebrated both Shane and Ilya's 35th birthday in the last couple months. So Shane has just led his team to his third Stanley Cup victory. Ilya, even though he's the captain of a much worse team, he's still
Such a
putting
dig.
up. Yeah, it's like Ilya's not winning cups, but he is still putting up big numbers in Ottawa. And they both, doing great things and have a lot of hockey left in them. So Shane is intending to play another decade at least, and he's thinking Ilya will probably do the same.
He expected Ilya to do the same, which I think is such a funny wording. Yeah.
Which is like, we haven't talked about it. Like, we keep being like, we're coming out when we retired, but like, we're not sure how long each other is intending that to be. Interesting.
Do you think when Ilya retires that Shane will also retire and vice versa? Or do you think that one of them would continue? Do you think that there are different answers for each of them? Or do you think they would both quit if the other did?
My first gut instinct is just thinking back to the, like, cheating conversation or the letting someone win conversation. I don't think they would, or at least from Shane's perspective, I don't think he would want, I don't think they would want that for the other person if they weren't ready to retire.
Do you think that if Shane were to retire, right, something happens or whatever, Shane just decides, I'm done with this. Do you think that Ilya would be like, maybe I am too, and that was the straw he needed? Or like vice versa, if Ilya retires, do you think that Shane would be like, this isn't the same, and also retire?
I think Ilya would, I think Shane wouldn't, but maybe if he, like, plays enough by himself and doesn't have that, like, kind of interaction with his, I almost said a spoiler, with his person, like, he probably
No,
wouldn't.
have your spoilers. Robert won't know.
We've already said it's husband behavior.
Okay.
I've read a lot of fanfics that go about this all sorts of different ways, like where they retire together. I've seen where Ilya retires early to be a stay-at-home dad. I've seen where Shane retires early to do the same thing. That, I don't think Shane would retire to raise the kids. That one doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think they would have children until they're both retired.
Yeah. I think, I feel like they enjoy hockey the most when they get to play together, whether that is against each other or with each other. And I think unless there was like a career-ending injury really early, like if Ilya were to get injured in the next like 2 years, I think Shane would still play for a couple years afterwards. But I think like if they both play 10 years, Shane might decide to play an 11th year, but I think he would retire pretty quickly after. Like I think they would follow each other to retirement pretty quickly because I think no one matches their energy on the ice, and I think they wouldn't want to play hockey without each other.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think, Shane maybe wouldn't retire at first because it wouldn't be like when he exactly wanted to potentially, and then like to your point, he would maybe like a few months in be like, oh yeah, I'm not being challenged, this isn't fun.
Yeah, so this means another decade of hiding probably, but Shane would do it. He would do anything for Ilya. He told him once that he was willing to play the long game when it came to their relationship, and he'd meant it. Pack it up, everyone, he said the thing.
Pack it up, the book's over. Yeah. But Shane would do it, he would do anything for Ilya. Love that.
So I wrote that down. I said Shane would do it. He'd do anything for Ilya. And stick with me here, but he's not going to come out. Which is like, it's just a joke. It's a joke. Okay, it's a joke. I know, Ilya just asked him to do it and he did it. But like, Shane, be so goddamn serious. Like, you are not going to hide for at least another 10 years. If you want to play for 10 more years and then fade into obscurity first, that's 15 at least more years. Fuck off.
This is not a plan rooted in reality.
I was going to say, I think he's convinced himself again because I'm guessing that the conversation in the 3 years has maybe like come up in, increments, but not like really as transparent or honest as it should be. Like, I think Shane has convinced himself that is Ilya's plan too. It hasn't changed. And he also, in the way that this is phrased, it's almost like he's like, another decade helps both of us for hiding. That's safe for both of us. He would do that. He would do that sacrifice. He would do anything for Ilya. Almost like convincing himself that is what Ilya wants to because he hasn't said otherwise, which is delusional. But like, that is, I think, where he's coming from.
But a big red flag, he hasn't said otherwise. That is such a big thread in this whole book.
Yeah.
He hasn't said otherwise.
It is interesting to me that, like, they started their NHL careers at 19. Now they're 29. So it's been 10 years. 29. And Shane is intending to play another 10 years. Like, they're only halfway through their careers. If all goes according to plan and nobody has, like, a career-ending injury. But, like, it's crazy that, like, they still have half a career of hockey left, which is, like...
Cocky.
Cocky.
No, they have a full lifetime of cock left. But like,
they've got so much cocky left in their future. Bukkake.
It's also wild to me that Shane has won a cup in 30% of the seasons that he's played. Because they've played 10 seasons and he's won 3 cups. Yeah. Could have been more if not for fucking Cliff Marlowe. Anyway.
Guys, maybe Shane Hollander is like good at hockey or something.
Is he?
No.
You can't blame Cliff Marlowe for that because Ilya would not have gone to the cottage if Cliff Marlowe hadn't broken Shane's collarbone, if you think about it.
Okay, but would Shane rather have the love of his life, or would he rather have had a Montreal three-peat for the cup? It's a toss-up.
Jesus Christ.
Don't ask him impossible questions.
I feel like if you ask Shane that question, he's going to be like, ask me a different question.
No. What would you choose? And then we'd be like, we already chose Ilya, Shane. Scott Hunter kissing his boy. Ooh, I said Hunter. Scott Hunter cussing. Scott Hunter kissing his boyfriend on the ice sets off like a chain reaction of gay shit. If you think about it, it's actually Cliff Marlowe checking the fuck out of Shane. So Cliff Marlowe, maybe he is an ally. Emily, that's a good question for you. Do you think...
Am I an ally?
No.
Next question.
Being an ally in this economy? Terrible.
Do you think that Cliff Marlowe is like a girl's girl feminist ally, or do you think he's just a quintessential hockey bro? Because the internet seems to think that he is like... there was a good post today, I can't remember who it was, but they said that everyone is treating Cliff Marlowe like Wyatt Hayes. Like he's Wyatt Hayes. Like Wyatt Hayes is who you are acting like Cliff Marlowe is. Do you actually think that's Cliff Marlowe? Or what do you think he's like off the ice?
It's tough because I only have fanfic as a reference and like the very small scenes that he's in. I mean, I do trust Ilya that like that's the person he gravitates the most towards, I think, in Boston, as far as I know.
He does say, basically what we were told about Cliff is that he's a bit of an idiot and he's probably Ilya's best friend.
Right, so I trust that Ilya wouldn't befriend someone who was that big of an asshole, like, who, like, was fully, like, a hockey dude. I mean, I think Cliff definitely is, but, like, even when he goes to the hospital, he's like, Cliff's really sorry. Like, they've had a talk where he's like, say you're sorry. Like, I do think that, like...
Una Hollander was on speakerphone.
Yeah. Like, so he may not be perfect, like, I still think, but I feel like if Ilya chose him as the person on the team, like, he must be somewhat decent, is my reasoning.
I just remember when they're on the plane, Ryan Price is there, and Ryan is, like, trying not to have a panic attack. Stop it!
Stop it, Robert!
Ryan is on the plane trying not to have a panic attack, and Cliff is like, what is with this guy? What's his deal? You know? And that doesn't seem like ally vibes to me, but I don't know.
Do I love a himbo as much as the next person? Yes. Fanfic Cliff Marlowe is not real, and I need people to understand that. Like, have all the fun you want on AO3, but, like, please recognize that, like, it's unfortunately not canon.
Actually, have less fun in AO3.
No, we should be having more fun on AO3, honestly.
Ilya asks why Shane is getting sad. And Shane is like, oh, sorry, nothing, and kisses Ilya quickly and then tells him that he loves him. And Ilya says, of course, why wouldn't you? And he has a crooked, sexy smile. And so my next question is Shane Hollander a pessimist?
Yes.
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 And is Ilya Rozanov an optimist or is he a realist? Because I don't think he's a pessimist.
I think he's Russian.
He's Slavic. That's the answer.
I think he is more of a realist than Shane, I think, because he's had to face reality a bit more than Shane has.
This is just me, like, this is a genuine question. I would say that he is sometimes a pessimist because of his mental illness and trauma, but I don't know if pessimist is the right way to frame that. But, like, I do think that he has sometimes a trauma lens on, which makes him question things and future stuff. So maybe?
I think that Shane is a pessimist and that Ilya is a realist.
Yeah.
Trying to see the bright side, but a realist, you know? But like, the thing is, Shane is not thinking about their future and feeling hope.
Yeah, he's feeling sad.
Do we think after 10 years of being in America, or I guess more, this would be like 12 years at this point, you think after 12 years of being and playing in America that Ilya has become more American white? Like, do you think he does the bum, bum, bum during Sweet Caroline?
Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
I think that he does. Absolutely think that he does.
I think his karaoke song is Mr. Brightside.
Chapter 1 is incredibly short.
Yeah, I finished reading chapter 1 and I'm like, holy fuck, wait, what? Fucking My Dinner with Hayden was longer than this.
Chapter 2 doesn't end. I think we could talk about these first two pages for like 45 minutes, and I think we should.
I think actually there's a whole episode just on the dream, I think. Chapter 2, it's probably still July. We are in Montreal now, and Ilya is dreaming of his mother.
Fuck.
No, every time I open this chapter, I feel like that meme that's like, oh shit, here we go again. Because I don't think about this unless I have to, so every time it fucking blindsides me, I'm like, oh my god, wait! The dream!
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, no. Every time I just like, it's like stubbing your toe. It's like hitting your shin. Like, fuck! Yeah. You just get here and you're like, oh, fuck!
Yeah.
So Ilya can recognize that he is dreaming, but he still feels a familiar dread. He crosses the lawn behind Shane's cottage, and there's a hammock that he and Shane hung, and there is a pale arm hanging from it.
And he specifically says, the same way it hung from her bed when he was 12. Jesus fucking Christ. Ilya's feeling dread. I'm feeling dread, actually.
I'm feeling dread. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling a lot of emotions.
However, her fingers start moving, almost like her wrist twists and her fingers start moving, almost like when you have your hand out the car window and there's music and you're just kind of floating, you know?
That's such a good visual.
Thank you. So she's, her fingers basically are dancing to like music that Ilya can't hear. She's moving and Ilya calls out to her and he calls her mom in English. Do you guys, before I get into mine, do you guys have thoughts on why he is speaking to her in English?
I think it's because he is so intertwined with Shane's life at this point, and like he is blending literally the past and the present and bringing it to his safe space, which is the cottage, and like blending these two worlds. And so I think he says it in English for some reason because he is now so intertwined in Canada and Shane's life that is now his chosen family. That's his default. That is what he's going to refer to in this moment, even when it's around his mom.
I mean, at this point, Ilya has lived in North America as long as he lived with his mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My theory is it's because Ilya is losing touch with his Russian, the Russian of him. So he doesn't get to speak in Russian anymore to anyone. He's sacrificing bits of himself for Shane, and then in the process is starting to feel detached and annoyed and resentful, which is a common thread through this book. But not getting to speak Russian to him is breaking kind of a piece of him away, and it's a piece that connects him to his mother.
Yeah.
That's his mother tongue is Russian. And so she does not speak at all in this dream. There is no communication with her in this dream. He's saying things to her, and she is not speaking back. She is emoting in a way that makes it seem like she knows what he's saying. But being that it's his mom, she could, in theory, just be responding to the way that he looks and how excited he seems.
This is more on why she's silent and doesn't speak. And I hear you. I think also too, at this point, I fear that it's been so long since she died that he's actually losing the sound of her voice. And that's very common. And I think there was probably I'm going to guess there's no home videos or anything like that, or anything that he has access to. So all he can really remember is that terrible day, because it's so traumatic, and how she looked, and maybe like some glimpses of her healthy and happy, or happier. But I don't think he can maybe remember the sound of her voice. So that's why she doesn't speak in the dream.
I also think this is like an idealized version of his mother, kind of based on what he remembers. Because like when you're 12, you don't really know your parents because you're a child. So like his parents would have been keeping a lot from him. Like, and he says like, she would have loved you like I love you. And like, we hope that's true, but also we don't know. He's looking at his mother still through the eyes of a 12-year-old. And like, I mean, I don't want to like insinuate anything about his mom, but also like, you have to consider the culture that she was raised in and think that like, maybe he doesn't. Yeah, we don't know. And neither does Ilya. Not to speak ill of his dead mom, but.
Way to go, Mallory. Robert?
I guess I don't really have anything I can say. We mainly covered everything I would have said.
Do you dream about your dead dad? Sorry.
Not really, no. No. I think that's a fair question to ask. I don't think I've had any dreams, which pisses me off because my sister, there are so many stories I can tell about my sister and I and all the paranormal things that have happened to us. When my grandma died, she visited my sister in a dream. So like we keep waiting for my dad to show up in one of our dreams, and he hasn't. And we're like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you taking your time?
When did he pass?
January of 2023.
Yeah, my dad passed when I was 17, and I actually do dream about him a lot. And I found this really interesting too, because it is in like quick bits, and it's like they don't register as dead. It's like, in my experience, it's like very short, and you're almost like, where have you been? Is my reaction, like, usually. Like, it's a dream, but it's like, where the hell have you been, Loka? And I often don't hear him. It's more of like just him and less of his like voice, and more of him healthy as opposed to like he died sick. So it's like you do dream about like the good parts of them, but it's very sporadic, and it's not, I don't think, as reoccurring as Ilya's dream.
In full disclosure, since we're having therapy hour.
Yeah, we are.
Very occasionally, I will feel something akin to like a pull or a tug on my being. And then like out of reflex at this point, I just say, oh, hi, Dad. And I just keep doing my job, or I keep doing whatever I'm doing.
So Ilya says Shane is in the house and he wants her to meet him. His mom says nothing, but smiles wider. Ilya watches Shane's silhouette in the window, waves at him. Shane, like, moves out of the window, and Ilya thinks, oh, good, he's coming. But not in, the fun, sexy way.
Okay.
Like, coming to see his mom. I'm sorry. Sad things make me uncomfortable.
We
I have
just
to make
went
jokes.
into, I know, I was like, wow, we just talked about dead parents coming to
should
us
Robert
in
and I just keep
dreams.
talking
And
more about our dead
Mal's
parents?
like, haha, they're coming to you?
Come. Anyway, this whole time, Ilya knows that this is a dream. He knows that this is not going to last, but he, like, wants her to meet Shane anyway. Because that's the closest he's ever going to get to introducing his mom to Shane.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of that moment, too, in Heated Rivalry, where Shane is like, of course he wants his parents to meet Ilya, because doesn't everyone want their parents to meet? He wants all his favorite people in one place. And this is like further example of how he can have that, but Ilya can't. And not even in his dreams.
And I do want to read the end of the dream because it is devastating. Shane was taking his fucking time. There was no sign of him when Ilya looked back at the house and he began to panic. Irina patted his hand. She was still smiling, but it looked pained. Her skin was tinged with gray. No, Ilya said, wait, he will be here. An annoying bird started chirping loudly nearby and Ilya gripped his mother's hand more tightly. Just wait. Don't go. Everything dissolved. The bird turned into Ilya's alarm and he found himself in Shane's bed in Montreal.
Ugh. In Shane's bed in Montreal. Not
Shane,
the bed that he shares.
Too slow.
Not the bed that he shares with Shane in Montreal. Not the bed in their Montreal home. Shane's bed in Montreal. There's still an emotional disconnect there. I really do think that's an intentional thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Shane is moving too slow, and Shane is running out of time to enjoy the nice weather and the music and the hammock with the people that he loves. He and Ilya have put this hammock together, but they're not sharing it with the people that they love or with the people that Ilya loves, if you want to get more specific.
Yeah. You've assembled this beautiful hammock, but you won't come outside to enjoy it.
I do think, too, like, I love analyzing dreams just, like, as a fun thing. I love Googling, like, what they mean and stuff. But it's also, like, when you're at your most vulnerable and you can't compartmentalize like they do on their daily basis. But I think it's very, like, I don't think it's as simple as this, but I think it's very much, like, shows Ilya's depression and how he views the world versus Shane's anxiety and how he views the world. Like, Shane is viewing, when you have anxiety, you plan the future so fucking to a T, and you're seeing it in years and decades, and you're thinking only of time. With depression, you're thinking of how you literally have no time.
I was just going to say, yeah, with depression, it's like, I don't even know if I have a future, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also, too, this is also the biggest, I think, disconnect, too, is Shane has his family. He hasn't, as far as we know, experienced major loss like that. And when you do have someone die, especially when you're young, you grow up thinking that everything you love and hold dear can be so easily taken from you, like, so quickly. So Shane also doesn't have that mindset because he's not experienced that type of loss. So he thinks he has nothing but time. The people in his life have nothing but time. Like, you just don't know to be fearful of that necessarily until you experience it firsthand.
Ilya scrunches his eyes closed. I love specifically it says scrunches. I love the word scrunches. Scrunches his eyes closed, trying to get the dream back, but it's gone. And Shane is also gone. Ilya stretches his hand out and the other side of the bed is cold. Bummer. He didn't even wake up with Shane.
And also in the dream, he's only talking about Shane. Like, he sees his mom, he has 30 seconds with her, tops, and he is only talking about Shane. Meaning, like, that is the most important thing he wants to share.
It is the first day of their camps, so it is not surprising to Ilya that Shane has gotten an early start.
I was thinking that your note here was that it's not surprising that Shane got an early start, and this isn't me trying to be a bitch, but the actual words are, it's not that it's not surprising, it's that Ilya shouldn't be surprised. He still might be surprised by this. He just shouldn't be, but he still wakes up wishing Shane were there for that physical contact. The very first thing he does when he wakes up is reach for Shane, and Shane is not there. And he shouldn't be surprised that Shane is not there, but that doesn't mean that he isn't.
Hey guys, is that going to be a metaphor for this book? Ellie's going to try and reach out and Shane's not there?
No.
Wow, spoilers. Thanks for answering the question, Camille, instead of just doing something cutesy.
Yeah. Why don't we just say, I don't know, could be, and move on. I've got another. He rolled to his back and exhaled loudly, trying to release the vortex of feelings that the dreams always churned up inside him. The joy of seeing his mother again, the heartbreak of realizing it wasn't real, and the frustration of Shane not moving fast enough, of not caring enough. It was this last emotion that Ilya needed to shake off most of all, because it was ridiculous. Shane cared. Shane cared enough that he'd suggested naming their charity after Ilya's mother. I'm sure this means nothing and we won't be dealing with these feelings all book. Fuck.
No, fuck is right. And I do like this too, because even like the trauma and the depression is saying Shane doesn't care. Like, and also the idea that this is the reoccurring dream and Shane does not make it there every time is so upsetting. But also for it to just be like, even though he knows that that's fear, is that Shane doesn't care enough, he's still like, no, period, Shane cared. Like, he cares.
Oh my God, you and I share a brain, because my note was literally that, like, I appreciate his ability to apply logic to this situation. And perhaps that's part of why he doesn't bring those things up to Shane, because he can logic his way through it without needing help or reassurance. But he does need help and he does need reassurance, because that's part of a partnership. And again, neither of them is a very good partner.
Yeah. And he's like filling in the gaps when it's like, you guys could have a conversation.
Like, you have a partner to fill in the gaps for you.
Yeah. And I love, too, the charity, like, that was Shane's idea. And, like, in a way, Shane has been getting to know her over the years, like, through the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Just not in that physical aspect.
Like, Shane is brainstorming this whole thing. He brainstorms the charity. Then he's like, he hears about Irina. By the way, I do want to point out, Irina Rozanova is so Russian last names are masculine and feminine. So that's why you have Ilya Rozanov and Irina Rozanova, and that's why you have Sergei Vetrov and Svetlana Vetrova, is because they're masculine feminine. So Shane comes up with this idea for a charity, and he wants the charity to be like mental health focused. And then he takes it a step further and literally asks, what was your mother's name? Because he is the one coming up with this whole thing of like, I want to make it something, because you have to think, yes, like Ilya is making so many sacrifices for Shane, but at the same time, Shane is building this whole world for Ilya, building all these different things for Ilya. And we've said this before, is that Ilya's version of love is I would burn it all down for you, and Shane's is I would build it all for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing. That's what they're both doing, but they're both doing it in like a destructive way, because it's like, hey, Shane, you're building a house that Ilya hasn't really had input on. Like, you didn't consult him about like the floor plans and the foundation and all this other stuff. And you've got really good blueprints, but you're kind of not running them by Ilya. But then also, Ilya, you're kind of like burning everything and sacrificing everything without asking Shane or consulting with Shane or like having someone counterbalance the emotion of all of that for you.
To quote Hadestown in regards to Shane, what he doesn't know is that what he's building his walls around is already gone. I mean, it's not totally gone, but like, you can't build and build and build and build and build. You're just going to trap somebody.
Correct. I'm like, Shane, if the closet doors are super glued shut, there might be super glue in your pocket.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that's also partly like Una, and like there's a line coming up here too that's like, Ilya's like, oh, he's the slacker. Shane's the slacker in the family, which is shocking.
So Shane's in the kitchen looking at medical forms for the kids, and he's very stressed that some of them are allergic to eggs.
So Ilya says, then we won't throw eggs at them. Banger. Absolute fucking banger of a line.
Anytime I hear that someone is allergic to eggs now, I think, so we won't throw eggs at them.
It's such a good line. It's such a good line. And so Shane is still worried that something's going to go wrong. And Ilya's like, nothing went wrong last year, right? And then he says something probably is going to happen. Somebody's going to get sick. Somebody's going to get hurt. But it's okay. It's hockey and kids.
Again, anxiety simplified.
And I think, this is the difference in the way that they approach everything. Like, Shane wants to hold on so rigidly to a plan to prevent anything from going wrong, whereas Ilya is a little more willing to go with the flow and take things as they come. And like, you need something in the middle. Like, you need to have a plan. You need to know that the children are allergic to eggs, but you also need to be prepared for like what happens when another kid brings an egg salad sandwich. Like you got to have both.
And that's the dream too of like in a partnership, usually if there's the two extremes, you guys can come together and be somewhere in the middle. We're not quite there yet.
It's like, yeah, he might be allergic. Somebody might be allergic to eggs, but like, this is hockey and you're going to have a couple snack breaks and one lunch break. Relax. Hollander, you're having panic attack. Like, chill the fuck out, right?
See, now I'm just thinking toxically because later on he like smacks the puck against the barrier and scares Shane. What if he threw an egg instead?
That would have been even
for
funnier.
The kid. I was kind of thinking about how, because I was looking for like, what is the ideal situation here for like the Shane and Ilya coming out arc? And I was like, actually, I think Scott Hunter kind of nailed it. And I think Scott Hunter is a little bit a mix of Shane and Ilya, I think, in sort of an interesting way. Like, hot take, because Scott like has a plan. He is like, I'm going to come out at the end of the season, and he starts telling all the like people who need to know. He talks to his coach, he talks to his closest friends on the team, he meets Kip's family, and he's like, I'm going to do an interview with Sports Illustrated. And so like he basically puts the plan in motion, and then when the opportunity presents itself to kiss Kip after the cup, he's like, the plan is basically already in motion, like it's fine, we're going to throw away the rest of the plan and I'm just going to do this instead. And so it's like the spontaneity is good and creates this like iconic, incredible moment that like leads to our chain reaction of gay shit. But then also, like, he has done the work beforehand. Like, he's done the Shane Hollander part. He's come up with a solid plan that he then, like, set himself up to be able to make the impulsive choice, you know? And so, like, you need both things. And, like, we need the things to come together in... Shane and Ilya need to come together in an emotional way, not just in a sex way. That's the TLDR. Now for the line. You know the one. The line. So... Shane says, I don't want this week to be a disaster. Ilya says, you are worrying too much. Easy for you to say, Shane grumbled. Your mom hasn't been texting all week with stressful details about this damn camp. Ilya's hands dropped to his sides. No, he said quietly, she has not.
Ow.
Woo!
It's really, okay, I do think that he does not mean anything damning by this. I do think it's double hurtful because of the dream that just happened, because he woke up and Shane wasn't there, you know?
Which Shane does not know about. And, like, there are people online who want Shane, like, drawn and quartered for this. They're like, Shane is the worst person. He is irredeemable. Ilya should throw the whole man away. And I'm just like, hey.
Also throw that man's hole away anyway.
Like, some of us, it seems, have, like, maybe never had a relationship with a real person before, perhaps.
Are you saying the heated rivalry fandom is just full of single nerds?
Well,
you said
I don't know. I also think
they
that,
get
like,
pretty fucked, but
just internet culture in general is very, like, we can't let someone make a mistake, whether that is a real person or a fictional character. Like, we don't want to see people make wrong choices. We don't want to see people say insensitive things. People want to write off Shane for this comment when, like, okay, he doesn't know that Ilya's had the dream. He doesn't know how much Ilya is struggling. He also, like, in this moment, he is so, like Camille said, up his own ass that there is no room for Ilya. Like, he is so stressed about this camp. Honestly, in this moment, oh, sorry, like Robert said, I forgot. I said the first part, but... Okay, sorry. Camille said Shane is so up his own ass. Robert said there's no room for Ilya. Sorry. I want to cite my sources correctly.
My glorious co-hosts once said.
Shane is it kind of a shitty thing to say? Yes. Does he mean it maliciously? No. And I also think, like, you have to take Ilya's response into account as well. He looks at this and he's like, Shane doesn't mean anything by this. Shane is stressed. I'm moving past it. And, like, maybe he should have brought it up. Maybe he should have even said, like, a little, like, hey. And Shane would have been so apologetic. Shane would have felt awful, but, like, he has no idea that he even fucked up here because he's just, like, he's so in his own head. I
also need to say that I think with the context of the dream, he wouldn't do it. But if he didn't have the dream, and if I was Ilya, I would have made a joke. I would have been like, yeah, she hasn't answered the phone for a while.
Yeah, you know what my mom always says. Long pause.
Yeah.
No, so can I take it a step further and say that I think less that people think Shane should be drawn and quartered, more than they say that about Rachel Reid. And they say that this is out of character for Shane. They hate Rachel Reid for this. They find this out of character for Shane. They don't like that she had him do this. They think it was malintended. What I think happened is that I think a lot of people identify with Shane Hollander. I think that a lot of people feel very connected to him. And I think that they take it very personally when someone either doesn't like Shane or when Shane does something that they themselves would not do. A lot of people see themselves reflected so well in fictional characters these days that when said fictional character then goes and does something that they don't agree with, their knee-jerk reaction is, I would never do that. Therefore, Shane would never do that. Therefore, Shane is out of character. Therefore, Rachel Reid sucks.
I also would argue that people would do this. Like, this is such a natural mistake to make in any kind of I mean, of course, you're usually not with someone you're this close to, but I've had someone pass away. I've still accidentally made, like, jokes about parents. Like, you know, you just say stupid shit, and then after the fact, you're maybe like, fuck, that was wrong. Or you don't think about it. I think it's kind of a normal thing.
I would actually even go so far as to say that in episode 3, Kip says, I miss my dad. And he says something about his dad and then says to Scott, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. And Scott says, I know what you meant. And it's one of those moments, that's exactly what's just happened, except Shane, again, is so far up his own ass that he doesn't realize he's just said something so hurtful because he didn't mean it that way. And so for Shane, and I am not autistic, so I'm not the authority on this, but I have a lot of friends that, like, they will say something super hurtful because they just don't realize. And I have to be like, hey, that's really hurtful. Like, when you say it like that, or hey, maybe next time, can you say it like this? Like, I understand what you meant.
Camille's had to say that to me. I have said things that have made Camille cry before because, like, that's what being in I mean, we're not, like, in a romantic relationship, but, like, friendship is a relationship. That's what, like, being in a relationship with someone is. Like, sometimes the way that you communicate is not going to jive with the way someone else communicates. And, like, things you say are going to, like, rub someone the wrong way. And, like, you gotta talk about it. Otherwise, these things just build and build and build. But, like, it is realistic that someone is going to say an imperfect thing. And I'm like, there are times that Ilya hurts Shane's feelings. Yeah. We just, like, zero in on this specific line and are like, this is so terrible. And it's like,
this is so mid. Part of why this hurts so badly is because Ilya has just woken up from this dream that Shane doesn't know about.
Right.
And you cannot hold that against Shane. Was it an asshole thing to say? Yes. Do I hold it against him? Never. And neither does Ilya. And again, part of the reason why, if Mal says something that hurts my feelings, I'm going to say, can you say that differently next time? Because, like, that really hurt. Like, that really sucked the way you said that. And it's not that everyone would take it that way, but I did. And so the thing is, the reason that I'm able to say that stuff, like using Mal and I for an example, is because I know Mal. I know Mal's a good person, and I know Mal is not trying to hurt my feelings. She could call me a stupid bitch, but I would know, like, she didn't actually, if Mal ever calls me a stupid bitch, I know she's probably joking, and maybe she got the tone wrong, and I have to be like, not the time to call me a stupid bitch. And she'd be like, my bad, you're right, sorry, you know? But this is that moment of, just because they don't have a discussion about it, I don't think that you can discount the fact that Ilya doesn't take offense to this specifically because he knows Shane. Yeah. And he even says that, and he thinks that in his own head. I understand that this is a miscommunication. I don't want to make this about me in this moment. I'm just going to let it go. I just woke up. Shane's not doing well. Like, let's just let this.
I mean,
we're dropping
specifically what is said is it was early and Shane had probably barely slept and was tied into even more knots than usual. So Ilya decided to let the insensitive comment go. He knew Shane hadn't meant anything by it, just like he knew he couldn't be mad at him for never rushing outside to meet Ilya's mother in his recurring dreams.
So he's rationalizing, he's being a realist again and being like, this is actually the situation. Like, and I really just genuinely don't think that Shane meant anything by it, because I think if he had, he would have immediately apologized.
Should Ilya have maybe brought it up that this was hurtful? Maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe he should have recognized that, like, or maybe he should have done exactly what he does and recognized that, like, hey, Shane's going through a lot right now. Like, this is not the time. Like, maybe he could bring this up later. Like, it's... And if you are someone with a dead parent who is like, I would break up with a partner for this, you know, live your truth. Ilya is not that person. And, like, we all have to live with that. And honestly, I think the book would kind of suck suck if Ilya just like broke up with Shane for an insensitive comment.
I've had people say things about their dads. Like, I mean, that's literally what Father's Day is every fucking year. Like, it's just bombarded by shit, and you don't like hate everyone for having an opinion or having a father. Like, that's just life. People are gonna say imperfect things.
Yeah. I mean, I also think if Shane is anything like me, if I had a negative interaction with my partner in the morning before something that I was really stressed out about, I would be thinking about that shit all day long. And
For sure.
like on top of already being stressed about camp. And I think Ilya knows that about Shane. And he's like, this is not the time to have that conversation.
Right.
If our camp is going to be successful, I have to let this go.
If these kids aren't gonna die of eggs, we gotta keep this moving. Yeah.
He's like, I need to get a good grade in running a hockey camp, which is both easier to want than achieve.
You know what I think Ilya should have done to calm Shane down? The trick where you pretend like you're cracking an egg over someone's head.
But then he makes him coffee, because he's like, Shane obviously needs it. Grumpy.
Yeah, so Yuna is already at the rink getting stuff ready for camp. David has not joined them in Montreal because he is in Ottawa working. And this is where Ilya says that Shane is the underachiever of the family, even though he's the most determined overachiever he's ever met. His parents are worse because
He's the slacker.
Shane gets his tism from his parents. And so on top of the stress of running a hockey camp, there is also a French news crew coming to talk about the camp. So Shane is going to have to talk to them. And Shane asks Ilya if he thinks they're ready. And Ilya says, I don't know. We only have 8 pro hockey players coaching this thing. Do you think that's enough to teach some kids to play hockey? No, I don't.
Whatever Shane was going to say dissolved into a frustrated sigh. Ilya grabbed the back of Shane's chair and pulled him away from the table and his laptop. He crouched in front of him, resting his folded arms on Shane's knees. You are just being you. This is so soft dom-coded. Very reminiscent of Shane's panic attack in his parents' living room in the final chapters of Heated Rivalry. Ilya gets down on the floor on Shane's level and is like, Shane, look at me. Like, physically pulls him away from the table here and is like, look at me. You're just being you. And I love that he normalizes Shane's panic for him. He realizes that saying stop worrying, it's going to be okay is not working. So he just goes, worrying is you.
This is you, and this is fine. This is normal, and we're gonna get through it. And now for a quote that makes me a little sad. It's all making me sad, so we're just continuing.
Good. Thanks for the clarification.
Ilya was excited about the camps. He'd enjoyed them last year, but he didn't like how quickly Shane had reverted to his usual uptight self. These weeks could have been spent at the cottage, laughing together in the kitchen, dunking each other underwater in the lake, and enjoying unhurried, indulgent sex in a place where they were safe and alone. Ilya could be sitting on the dock there right now, his feet dangling in the cool water with Shane's head in his lap. I would like to do this too. This sounds lovely.
That sounds beautiful. My dream date. Yeah, I mean, again, being outside, being together. But then he goes straight into like, but these camps are important to both of them, obviously, based on what they do.
It's an important thing that we're doing, but we're losing out on the time that we have together. I mean, like, we have time together, but it's not the same because Shane is like so worried that someone is going to figure them out at the camp, and Ilya reassures him that they're very good at protecting this thing.
Protecting, not hiding.
And thing.
Protecting this thing, not hiding
and
it.
Shane points out that Ryan Price walked in on them last year.
Jesus Christ, you know this guy, Ryan Price?
The tough guy of it all is Ryan. Actually, Wyatt gives Ryan some forms that like Shane needs to look over. And so he goes into like the office.
He hears them. He's like, oh, they're obviously arguing. And then it goes quiet. So he opens the door and is like, oh!
He's like, who got their ass kicked?
Opens the door and ha-ha! Shane says no kissing until they get home. Ilya says, no problem. I barely even like you.
I'm worried about Hayden too, Shane said. Kissing you? No. Giving us away, I mean. Ilya huffed. Is possible. He is not smart.
Hayden Pike was Shane's teammate, and for reasons Ilya still couldn't understand, was also one of the very few people on Earth who knew the truth about Shane and Ilya's relationship. And he was one of the coaches of their camp, despite Ilya's protest that he wasn't coach material.
Whack him again. No, the Hayden hate in this is so funny.
Shane tugged hard on the curl he'd been gently twisting. He's my best friend. I thought I was your best friend. Hayden's my best friend that I don't kiss, Shane clarified. Too bad for Hayden. Also, the too bad for Hayden is one of those lines that I can just like, I can hear Connor Story saying that.
Oh, I can't wait.
In the same way that I'm obsessed with Shane, like grooming Ilya in episode 6, I am very excited to see all these tiny little touches. Playing with hair while we talk and then pulling on hair when we get annoyed, and Ilya resting his arms on Shane's knees while they talk. Like, that's just, I can't wait. And so Ilya pours 2 coffees for them, 1 black for Shane. He's on a strict performance diet.
Diet mention number 2.
And then I think Ilya puts cream and sugar in his own, which is, I mean, he's a man's
correct.
man, so of course. Correct. Yes, correct.
I mean, yeah, correct. But like, damn, so much cream, so much dairy. My little lactose intolerant body can't take that much.
No, I was going to say Ilya is not a real bisexual because all the bisexuals that I know are like almond milk, oat milk, like the queers love their alternative milks.
Ilya serves Shane his coffee, and Shane is so checked out that it takes him a full minute to respond to the cup being placed in front of him. Like, the cup gets placed, a whole minute passes, and then he says thanks. Because, like, that's how slowly his brain is processing stimuli right now, which is interesting. And so Shane asks Ilya how he slept. And Ilya said, fine, better than you, probably.
I love that it specifically says, fine, Ilya lied.
They do love to do that to each other, he said, like a liar. I know you didn't mean to each other, Shane lied. And Shane says that he's unfairly handsome in the mornings. And so Ilya says, tell me that in Russian. And Shane says, Ty okin krasiv. My Googling tells me that he should have said, Tvai okin krasivi? No, hold on. Oh, I said it a million times so I could get it right. Tvai okin krasivi. And so what he's saying basically, and Ilya's like, close enough. So I was like, what was the mistake? So what he says is, in this moment, you are very handsome. Instead of just saying, in general, you're very handsome. Like, what Shane ended up saying is like, oh, you are very handsome right now. Not, you are very handsome. Does that make sense?
But that's like what Shane said. So is this Ilya being bitchy? Like, because Shane said, you're handsome in the mornings, and then Ilya says, tell him in Russian.
But right now and in the mornings is different.
Oh,
Right now
that is close
like
enough then.
Yeah, it's close enough, but Shane is like, no, I want to get it right. If I were trying to say, Mal, you look really good in the morning, but instead of saying, what I meant was, you look really good in the mornings, but instead I said, you look really good right now, that would mean that tomorrow morning you might not look very good.
See, let's cancel her.
Right. Well, I don't look that good in the morning. I
But
often
you do
look
really
tired.
good right now.
Thank you. I took a shower and my hair is down, which, yeah. Instead of, telling Shane how he could say it better, Ilya just kisses him. And Shane says he needs to eat something and get dressed. Ilya says he's going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way. Shane says that's gross because he's a hater, and I need to know everyone's favorite fast food breakfast, please and thank you.
I've been growing very fond of the Taco Bell breakfast menu. The McDonald's breakfast menu is shit, except for the hash browns.
My favorite fast food breakfast is McDonald's hotcakes with sausage.
Ooh. I'm honestly
Like
never
a
awake
shitload
that
of butter.
What the fuck
They
is the difference
serve
between a
it until,
hotcake
like,
and a
10.
pancake? Also, breakfast closes at 11. Also, I think they do breakfast all day now at certain McDonald's.
I will say, I think the only one I really would frequent is McDonald's, but for breakfast. But I usually do Starbucks
Okay.
or Dunkin'.
So I need to say something controversial. Please do not cancel me on the internet.
What's it called? Everyone get cool real quick about what Mal's about to say.
I know that I'm gay. Nothing slaps as hard as the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit.
Canceler.
Like,
Mal,
minis are
during
okay.
Pride?
I'm telling you,
Chicken minis are
maybe
alright.
twice a year, I go, fuck it, I need one. And I get one. And I feel so much guilt, but that biscuit is so fucking good that I just oh my God, the homosexuality leaves my body for the moment, and I enter my most Republican era, and I enjoy the hell out of that chicken biscuit, and then I feel like trash garbage about myself. But something about the way those biscuits are prepared, no fast food biscuit has ever touched that for me. And a lot of restaurants have biscuits, but something about the Chick-fil-A biscuit is just so fucking good. And I'm like, why does that money have to go towards terrible atrocities? Why can't you just have a good biscuit and not be terrible people?
Mal likes to risk it for the biscuit.
My problem, unfortunately, as someone who's currently losing weight, trying to eat like protein and fiber and stuff like that, is that whenever I get one of those, here's the best place to get protein, high protein items when you're on the road. And I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what number one's going to be. And number one's Chick-fil-A. You can get the fucking grilled nuggets and a Diet Coke. I also don't think there's a Chick-fil-A anywhere near me. So you know what? I don't have to even fall to the temptation.
Shane says, I'm serious. No kissing today. Do not be sexy. And Ilya's like, that's impossible. Like, hello? And Shane says, no innuendo. Ilya doesn't know the word. He says, what? And
he asks if
it's a sex thing.
Yeah.
He's not terribly wrong. Shane says, no flirting. Don't try to turn me on. Be professional. And Ilya's like, I don't have to try. Like, it just happens.
They are bricked up. They are always ready. They stay ready, so they don't have to get ready. Like,
they're one Russian and German away from fucking at all times.
Yes, absolutely.
So he calls him Moy Lyubimi. I'm not looking, it's not in front of me. I'm sorry. That's probably wrong and it's off the top of my head, but it means my beloved, my darling, my favorite.
Sorry to our few Russian listeners who are listening to us kind of butcher this. Shane's lips parted and he shifted his stance just slightly. Then he blinked and said, exactly that. Don't do anything like it today. Ilya trailed a fingertip down Shane's cheek. Why? Are you all turned on? No. As soon as I see you eating one of those disgusting breakfast sandwiches, I'll never want to kiss you again. Ilya laughed.
Real.
I'd better eat two then, to be safe. Now we're at camp. Ilya opens camp by telling the kids, welcome to Camp Rozanova, and Wyatt Hayes, light of my life, boos him.
Boo her!
Another line that I can hear, like Connor saying, is that not the name? Ilya asked innocently. I thought we had agreed.
I love him.
And one of the kids goes, it's a Game Changers hockey camp. And then Ilya's like, that name sucks. I agree. That name sucks.
That game does suck. No, that's a little...
I get it. It's for the bit.
That's a fan fiction ass name. Like...
I can't believe Rachel Reid copied Fan and Ilya and put it in her book. Damn.
I can't believe Rachel Reid plagiarized Rachel Reid. What a bitch.
You know this series? Game Changers?
Jesus Christ, you know this series? Game Changer? Anyway, the thing that's jarring about this part is where he's like, yeah, no, it's a terrible name. Anyway, hello everyone. I'm Ilya and this is my friend, Shane. And it's like, that's,
I know,
correct,
I literally
but
wrote
gun to
jump
my head.
scare.
Correct, but also missing a word.
No, I was like,
yeah.
that has never been said before. Like, my friend Shane? Huh?
Even though we spent the majority of the ending of the last book being like, literally the last two chapters, like, well, we're going to come up with this charity story and that we were friends the whole time or whatever. And like, yeah, okay. I've heard the plan. I know what the plan is. The plan has been presented to me in action. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So Ilya says, everyone knows me and Shane like each other a lot and always get along. The kids laughed more. Some called out protests. But in case we ... disagree ... we have brought more friends to help. So I'm going to go through how each character is introduced because they are all so dear and precious to me. So first, for the goalies, your coaches will be Wyatt Hayes, who plays with me for your favorite team, the Ottawa Centaurs. Some of the kids were brave enough to boo. And honestly, this feels like punching down from Montreal fans. I'm like, okay, guys, it's Ottawa.
Well, I will say, okay, so here's the like I've said this before, but in Nashville, as they introduce the starting lineup for the other team, we boo each player and then
Boo.
or we say sucks, and then they announce the coach and we say he sucks too.
And then our other goalie coach, we have Leah Campbell, who has more medals and awards than anyone else here, I think. By 2, Leah said cheerfully. Not that anyone's counting.
We love women in STEM. We love women in hockey, except for the MAGA ones. Make sure you do your Googling after that draft. For the defense players, the coaches will be Ryan Price, who is the very tall and handsome man over there.
Jesus Christ, it's Ryan Price.
And Ryan is kind of awkward about being called the handsome man over there. And so we learn that JJ was not impressed to learn that Shane and Ilya were friends. He's mostly over it, but like Hayden, he has not warmed to Ilya all the way. And Ilya is really not helping by calling him sort of handsome. And Shane is also not quite ready to tell JJ that he and Ilya are more than friends.
Yeah. Ever. So Rachel, honestly, I think she's doing a really smooth job of like setting up all of the conflict really quickly, like really rapidly. There is a lot of, I was worried that I wouldn't have enough to talk about in these 2 chapters because I was like, it's so much exposition, but I will say that it doesn't feel exhausting in the way that other books have to reintroduce a bunch of characters every time. I'm not having that issue with this because it is a natural introduction to everybody.
Yeah, it feels like a
And-
very efficient way to give us exposition, like through the start of camp and like introducing our coaches and like giving us just the little bit that we need.
Especially because she probably assumes, as is true, that some people did not read the other books and just went from Heated Rivalry to The Long Game.
Having the way that she sets up all of these different conflicts so easily without us even realizing what she's doing. The only reason that I know what she's doing is because I've already read this book. Like, Robert doesn't know what she's doing. There are so many things she's setting up here, and Robert has no idea.
I also really appreciate the way that you can, I mean, except for like Heated Rivalry and The Long Game, you can really read these books in any order because like I read Game Changer, Heated Rivalry, The Long Game, like I skipped over Tough Guy and I felt like I still got enough introduction to Ryan Price. Like you get enough to understand his relevance to this story and kind of who he is. And then like that experience with Ryan is deepened once you get, you know, once you read his whole story, but like you have enough of him right now. So like we get a little bit about his anxiety and how he like retired early at 31. We also are told that JJ is 6'6" and that he is almost as tall as Ryan. So Robert, how tall do you think Ryan is?
I guess Ryan has to be 6'7".
Sure is. Yep.
Kill yourself.
The funny part to me, I think that should count as the jar. I think the funny thing to me about
Why do I
6'7"
have to pay
is
the jar?
because you told me to kill myself.
Already.
Robert, you're the one
Ryan,
that's
you
gonna
told Robert to kill himself.
Robert's the one that's gonna do it, though.
You have to pay $2.
Damn.
It's actually normally a donation of $5, so.
What was I going to say? It's really funny that the 6'7" joke, my sources tell me, has died amongst the children. So it's just being passed around by the 30-something-year-olds who think it's weird and stupid and funny.
Honestly,
Are you
that
telling
seems
me
right.
that 6'7", 8', 9"?
Camille!
Camille!
Oh my god.
I also love that JJ is described as having, quote, all the confidence in the world.
I wondered how much of that was actually put on, how much of that is performance, because there aren't many players of color. And actually, as a JJ hater, I'm sure there's a ton. Wait, that's going to make it sound like I'm a racist. That's not what I was trying to say. I was going to say, even though. Hold on.
JJ faces a lot of racism, and most of it comes
As a
from
JJ
Camille.
hater. No. Even here, let me rephrase. Even as someone who hates JJ, I can admit that man probably faces a fuck ton of racism. And so I wonder how much of his confidence is actually like performative.
I mean, I think they've assembled a group of figures at their camp who are very diverse and who face a lot of racism, homophobia, sexism, like in their sports, which I think is important. And I think I was talking to a friend about how like hockey romance is everywhere, and like these stories have been told like a bajillion times. There's like so many straight ones, and I mean, there's also a lot of gay ones. There's less gay ones, but there's a lot of gay ones. And it was like, what makes Game Changer specifically hit hard, other than like the really great TV adaptation we got? And my friend was saying that this is the only, and I'm not saying it's the only one that exists, but it's the only one that she's aware of that actually kind of critiques the culture of hockey. And like you have these characters who are faced with sort of these challenges like because of who they are. And I know there's been criticism that like Rachel maybe has not handled it as well as some people would want, but I do think that like a lot of hockey books don't address it at all.
The acknowledgments of Tough Guy, which I have not read, but I read the epilogue and so I saw the acknowledgments. And finally, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the professional athletes, especially hockey players, who have spoken or written bravely and honestly about their own struggles with mental health, addiction, phobias, and the culture of toxic masculinity that can make team sports so difficult for so many people. And when she says phobias, she's not talking about spiders. She means transphobia, biphobia, homophobia. That's the phobias that she's talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, yeah. So, next bit. The other major difference between JJ and Ryan is that Ryan does know Shane and Ilya's secret. He'd walked in on them kissing last year at the end of the first day of camp. Shane still barely knew the guy because he was too embarrassed to even look Ryan in the eye. But Ryan was gay himself, and he wasn't much of a talker. He'd kept their secret as far as Shane could tell.
But yeah, no, again, I did not know this had happened until Mal said that this happened in a book. And I was like, oh, damn, I got to read this. Hold on. Wait.
And for the forwards, Ilya continued after the kids had stopped scolding him. We have me and Shane, and also Max Riley, who you know from Team Canada and from being Leah's husband. And so Max had been in the media spotlight quite a bit over the past couple of years after coming out as a trans man. He'd played with his wife for Team Canada for years, including in 2 Olympics, but since coming out had been without a team. He was a vocal advocate for trans rights in sports, and Shane was glad both he and Leah were part of their staff. Trans ally Shane Hollander.
Trans ally Shane Hollander.
I love sometimes when I see like a taste of discourse and I can be kind of like, that's interesting. Glad I'm not a part of that. Because like I still have, this is another kind of, I guess, I'm admitting to a lot of Republican coded things today, I think. Yikes. I still have the Twitter app on my phone. I don't use it very much, but it's still there. And I should just get rid of it, but it's still there. And I will occasionally get like random notifications of like tweets that they want me to look at. And I got one from someone who was like calling out another person on Twitter who like apparently was trans and was like headcanoning that Shane was transphobic. And they were like, guys, let's love ourselves. Like, why are we doing this? And like, I have to agree, like, why headcanon things like that? Also, like, it's not true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the text, Shane is like, hey, we have this trans man in our camps. He's great. I'm so glad that he's here and has this, like, expertise to share with all of us. Like,
To wrap up this glorious introduction, and also Hayden Pike. Okay, let's get started. So, we're moving on. Now, literally banger. Shane was, Ilya had to admit, a pretty terrible coach, but in an adorable way.
it's giving the one, like, press conference question that Ilya got. Shane is giving, like, the worst, most convoluted instructions to these children about the drill that they're doing.
Which doesn't, like, to me, I was like, why? Like, he should be able to do this so well. But then I was like, okay, is it just because he's nervous and he's used to talking to people who, like, know ball?
I think, you know the saying, those who can't teach? Shane can, and so he can't teach. No, I'm just kidding. That saying is not true.
This part has everything, which is Shane interacting with kids and jealous Ilya, which is my kryptonite.
I also love that Ilya says, very good job, Coach Shane. And Shane's like, I suck at this. And Ilya's like, yes, but the rest of us are good, so no problem.
That's definitely
Again, another
role-playing
line
later.
that I'm like, I can hear that. And I love that Ilya's like, even Ryan Price, who is like the most socially awkward person I've ever met, is like great at this. It's just Shane who sucks.
Ilya
Ilya's
felt
like,
he'd
don't
somehow
worry,
walked.
Shane, you're all good.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bruh.
And him knowing him so well to be like, he felt like he somehow walked into one of Shane's nightmares. Like, he is aware of his dreams. Flashback? Maybe a flashback. Maybe me on my second fridge cigarette and not really.
And Shane's worried because he's supposed to be in charge. And this, I was very interested in this line. Ilya says, you're supposed to be in charge of your team too, but we all know JJ's the real Montreal captain. I want to break into that for just a second.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have things to say about this because JJ is the real Montreal captain, which means that the team follows his lead, meaning he has a serious effect on that dressing room. Also, god damn it, there is so much foreshadowing happening here.
Yeah.
Shane butt-ends Ilya in the ribs, and he says, I'm a great captain. And Ilya says, I know, sweetheart. And then Shane butt-ends him again and is like, knock it off.
Yeah, Ilya, it's unprofessional to call your platonic friend Shane sweetheart.
It's knock it off as doing 2 jobs. Knock it off as in stop being a dick, and knock it off as in we're in public, don't get cutesy with me.
And also, don't be turned on at himself.
So Wyatt and Leah are coaching goalies. Tiny goalies, those tiny little crabs, are everything to me. I love a tiny mic'd up goalie.
I was gonna say that I've seen like little short videos of like little kids mic'd up being goalies, and the things that they just say out loud, I'm like, this is adorable.
Yeah. So Ilya says this is going well. The kids are having fun. Number 22 has a crush on me. Shane says, who doesn't have a crush on you? Ilya says, Hayden. And then he stops and he goes, unless. ...
Enemies to lovers, Ilya and Hayden. So Shane then gives some like one-on-one feedback to a kid, which seems much better than when he was talking to the whole group. So I'm thinking he's probably better one-on-one than talking to a whole group of children. And Ilya felt a lot of things at once, both from the way Shane's track pants pulled tight against his thigh muscles and from the warmth that bloomed in Ilya's chest whenever he watched Shane interact with children. And Ilya blinked and turned his gaze away from his boyfriend to look way down at Hayden Pike. Much to unpack there. Number one, the way he has to like shake himself out of it because he's so locked in on Shane, and he has to look way down at Hayden. Once again, we are saying that Hayden Pike is short. And Ilya says, "Are you here for any reason at all?"
What's that, like that TikTok sound that's like, and once again, I hear this annoying grating.
And it's just Hayden Pike.
Wow, you're so tall. You're like a giraffe. You dead built like a baked bean. A baked bean! A baked bean!
And so Hayden taps his Stanley Cup champs hat and he's like, I'm here to represent the winning team. And it says Ilya couldn't argue with that. His own team wasn't going to be winning cups anytime soon. He made a mental note to wear Shane's identical ball cap tomorrow because it would make Hayden furious.
We love rage baiter Ilya.
God, Rachel Reid, I wish this book had been released like at a different time so that for Christmas, Shane could have bought Ilya a Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah, like the beverage ones.
So Ilya asked Hayden to lead the next drill because he's good at passing. And Hayden's like, I lead Montreal in assists. I am good at passing. And Ilya's like, yes, that's why I said it.
Kill him with kindness.
Ilya is like master rage baiting. He's a master baiter at this point, if you will.
Ilya is playing 4D chess.
Where he's genuinely complimenting Hayden. And Hayden's like, bitch, are you insulting me?
Can you imagine if Shane had to break up a physical fight between the two of them and he's like, Jesus Christ, what happened this time? And they're like, he complimented me. And it's like, okay, really? Like, come on.
Ilya is like, wow, I didn't realize how much fun it is to confuse Hayden with compliments. I gotta do this more often. Like, the psychological warfare that this man is doing to his husband's best friend. I mean, they're not husbands yet, but like, you know.
It would be really funny if Hayden's like going insane. He's like, Shane, listen, I need you to listen. He's complimenting me, but he's doing it maliciously. I can prove it. And he has like this like diagram. He's like going insane. And Shane's like, dude, he's just complimenting you. Calm down. And later he speaks to Ilya. Are you harassing Hayden by complimenting him? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I wonder how many of those assists are because he shares a line with Shane. You get an assist when someone else scores a goal. And so if your center's not good and your center's not scoring goals, then you're not getting assists.
Well, yeah, but also I wouldn't say that that's more the center. I would say that you guys setting up plays together is what gets you to score. That's a team effort.
But I'm also just like, Shane scores a lot of goals and like, you're there helping him do so. Which, like, I'm not trying to knock Hayden and be like, he's only good because of Shane. Like, I think he is a very good hockey player and, like, assists Shane, which is, like, the point. But I'm like, I think, you know, he gets a lot of assists because he is assisting Shane and not some other player, you know?
Yeah. So Ilya notices that Shane has gone to talk to this reporter, but this reporter is hot. And he's giving Shane flirty smiles. Or maybe they're just regular smiles. But the insecurity here is crazy. Because, like, what do you mean that Ilya is subconsciously wondering, like, would Shane have just come out already? Would he be happy and, like, married or whatever if it weren't me? Am I the problem?
No, Ilya, you're not the problem.
No, Shane wouldn't, because Shane is anxious and neurotic. But I think, you know, you look at who are the players that are out right now. Ryan is out and happy, and Ryan has, like, left hockey and is doing much better. Scott Hunter is engaged. Like, fun fact, Scott Hunter was asked to coach at this hockey camp and couldn't because he and Kip are getting married this summer. So they're either like in the thick of wedding planning or they're on their honeymoon because they do get married this July. Yeah. So like, I mean, I think you're looking at the other gay hockey players and you're like, everyone else is so much happier than us because they're not dating another hockey player. Am I the problem? If Shane wasn't dating another hockey player, like, would he be happier?
Ilya, he's plenty happy being with you.
Yes.
The following scene warms my heart so much. Where, like, you know, he's like looking at this hot reporter, and then all of a sudden, this little girl Chloe is like, "Hey, Mr. Rozanova," and then he he's like, no, Ilya, because, hey, call back to when David did the same thing. And she's like, I need help with my backhand.
Good thing she didn't ask Shane, am I right?
And Ilya genuinely gives her some good advice. And like, after doing 15, 20 minutes of practice drills with her, she's starting to get the hang of it. And then Ilya turns around and sees that the reporter has put his hand around Shane's arm. And now Ilya is going to handle this in a very calm and collected manner by launching a hockey puck straight at the glass. Shane freaks out and calls him an asshole, which I find so funny because immediately Ilya is like, language Hollander, because he's pointing at the kids.
Oh my god. Shane screams. I need to see that.
No, literally, I literally have the same note because I said it says that Shane screamed instead of Shane yelled, which makes me snort laugh every time. Because I'm imagining him
Yeah. No, I'm imagining a blood curling, yeah. So then things were tense between them for the rest of the day. Ilya couldn't even apologize because Shane wouldn't talk to him. Not that he felt like apologizing. He just wanted Shane to stop being mad about it. And Ilya wanted to stop feeling embarrassed about doing it. It had been immature and petty and unprofessional. He still didn't want to apologize, though. He's so real for this.
This is the behavior of a couple who fuck about their feelings instead of talking about them.
Yeah.
No, and then the storm started with him shuffling papers for no reason.
Yeah.
Then he crossed his arms, huffed, and stared at the wall opposite Ilya. That is a whole little tantrum.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay, but there's another line that immediately kind of emotionally devastated me a bit. Is it says that Ilya wants he wants Shane to unleash his anger. Quote, fortunately, he was an expert when it came to making Shane unleash his anger. That makes me really sad.
He's a rage baiter.
Yeah, but this doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I know.
This feels like abused child Ilya Rozanov being like, one thing I'm good at is pissing people off.
Oh, no, that's sad. So Ilya asks what the problem is. Shane says the problem is he's trying to run camp with a fucking toddler. Shane says Ilya always has to make him look like a fucking idiot. And then he, admits that Laurent, the reporter's name is Laurent, is handsome. And Ilya says, oh, so you do find him attractive. And Shane's mad that Ilya did all that because he thought Shane was flirting, and Ilya admits he was jealous and that it was stupid and that he isn't proud of it. It's just, this conversation is a mess.
Wait, it hasn't clocked. I've read this 10 times. It hasn't clocked that he's the reporter. For some reason, I always just thought he was a guy who was just there. I don't know why.
Just some guy.
I just thought he was some guy watching kids at the...
Hey, Emily, if there's some guy just watching kids at the rink, that's a red flag.
I thought he was someone's dad. I don't know. I was like, oh, he's just there. And I still didn't think it was that funny. But
He
now
literally repeatedly is the reporter. Anyway, I think it's
Media
really
literacy
interesting.
is dead, and it starts with Emily.
I think that it's really interesting that Shane is admitting to finding another man attractive, and Ilya is taking it so poorly, because I think that there is nuance to it on Ilya's side. But Ilya was Shane's sexual awakening. Yes, Shane has had sex with a couple of other people. However, he's never had feelings for another man before. Mm-hmm. And so it's not really fair for Ilya to give him a hard time over finding another man attractive. Shane realized he was queer because of Ilya. And I don't think that Shane should feel guilty for finding other men attractive.
No, and I don't even think Ilya thinks you should feel that way.
No, exactly. And so I'm saying that it's very nuanced on Ilya's side, what Ilya is feeling right now. However, it does make me kind of sad for Shane that when he even finds another man attractive, this is Ilya's response.
Well, and I think it is kind of a misplaced, anxiety, because I think he is jealous more that this man is able to sort of openly flirt with Shane when he can't. And I think he's also has this fear that someone else could give Shane a relationship that he could be open about in a way that I can't. And so I think it's more that it's not necessarily that Shane is finding another person attractive. It's these insecurities Ilya has about their relationship and not being able to be public about it.
I think that Ilya is still mad at Dream Shane and is taking that out on real Shane, even though he's I wouldn't take my anger out on real Shane. But I think that he's you don't come out and meet my mom. now you're letting other guys flirt with you right in front of me, in front of all these people, but you won't tell these people that I'm your boyfriend, and you won't, like, Shane, these people all know that Shane is gay. However, Shane wouldn't stand there and say, I'm gay, without being prompted, but you'll let another man flirt with you. And so I think there's a lot going on.
And Shane doesn't even realize that he's flirting, I don't think. Like, he was like, oh, you thought I was flirting. Like, he doesn't even realize that another man is hitting on him.
And so this is the part where Shane really pushes Ilya to speak. And when he doesn't get enough of an admission, he literally pushes and says, keep going, because Ilya's not quite there yet. He's not being serious enough yet. But then there's also this moment of remembering, like, again, remember, we're in Ilya's head in this moment. Shane is described as smiling, but not in a nice way, which sucks.
The not in a nice way, more in a Victoria's smug way. I mean, I think he just likes to know that, like, Ilya's jealous.
Oh, yeah. So Shane asks, what did you really think was going to happen? Ilya shrugged. Maybe you would think he was nice, hot, not a rival hockey player. He was terrified that one day Shane would realize he could be with someone who wasn't a dark secret, that it could be easy to love someone.
Because Ilya doesn't think he's easy to love. Yeah, totally. Great. Not heartbreaking at all.
And Shane says he spent all day trying not to be obvious about how fucking in love with him he is. And if Ilya doesn't get that, he's not going to just leave him for any guy who smiles at him, then what are we even doing here? And I think, like, it's hard for him to get that when you're not showing him that.
Well, right. And I think that's why it's good that he says, I'm yours. Because when you're not out publicly, it's like people do feel like they have this ability to flirt and be, like, overly flirtatious, and watching that and not being able to say anything is tough. But it's, like, reiterating. And I think this is also good of, like, oh, wow, you guys are communicating. And look, you resolved something.
You said, like, 6 lines to each other, and look at that. The conflict was mostly resolved.
Mostly resolved, yeah.
We have heated rivalry ended with Shane being claimed as a boyfriend. And now Ilya really wants the same thing. And he's like, can I have it? And Shane's like, I don't know if the timing is right. Maybe I'll tell you later when we're in private, you know? And it's like, Shane. because Shane was claimed as boyfriend in front of people. There were witnesses. 2 witnesses, which is what you need for a legal document, you know, like,
And so, like Emily said, Shane says, I'm yours, and Ilya leans in for a kiss, and in comes poor Ryan Price, who says, oh God, not again.
Mr. Price, a second gay makeout session has hit the NHL.
That you walked in on, apparently. Damn.
God.
Ryan Price
Poor Ryan.
out here. Yeah, poor Ryan. Seeing 2 dudes kiss is terrible for him.
Yeah, but also, Ryan, learn to knock challenge?
The news guys are packing up, and Ryan has come to tell them that. The news guys want to talk to Shane, and Shane's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, thank you. Thank God. Ilya is like, I like him. We should go on a double date with him and his Fabian. His Fabian. His Fabian is so cute, especially because, like, my Shane. So they've had dinner with the Pikes at Shane's a few times, and they've gone to their house once, which Ilya really enjoyed because he got to hang out with the children and not with Hayden Pike.
Shane's face scrunched up in an adorable way, and Ilya knew he was trying to find a reason to protest. But in the end, he smiled and said, wow, we could really do that, couldn't we? Ilya smiled back. We could.
Yes, Shane, you can have queer friends. Good God.
Good God.
The adjective he uses is Ilya thought it might be ... neat.
Shane goes to talk to hot reporter man, and Ilya, because he's an asshole, asks if he's invited on their date too, and if he's gonna break the no threesome rule. And Shane flips Ilya off as he goes.
So now we're sitting, Ilya and Yuna are cooking dinner. Shane is sitting at the table. Shane is so deep in thought, so in a different dimension, that he's literally, like, got his hands folded and they're pressed against his face, and it's covering the bottom half of his face, staring into nothing. And Yuna says, what's Shane's problem?
And Ilya says, looks normal to me.
Incredible. But I love that she asked him first instead of just going first to Shane, what's wrong? She's like, you know him. What's his deal? Yeah.
They're the girls. The 2 of them are the girls.
Listen. Shane is just replaying the horrors of the day in his head. Like,
the horrors.
Yeah, they're like, well, we got caught again. And Yuna's like, seriously, you guys? And they're like, we weren't doing anything.
Yeah, but then Yuna is like, well, Ryan's gay, so this is not a big deal. And Shane feels really bad that they've burdened him with this huge secret, which, fair.
I was just thinking, like, I think it's really interesting that Yuna's like, well, he's gay. He'd be okay with it. I'm like, no, ma'am, there are evil gays out there. You don't know that.
Yeah,
She's
the
like, well, my
evilest gay is
favorite
Mel.
gay is not evil. My son would never, and he's my favorite gay. So
Her favorite gay is Ilya.
Ilya's not gay. My favorite queer is Ilya Rozanova, and my favorite gay is my firstborn and only child.
I mean, there are a lot of gay people who are very like, being gay is only okay the way that I do it. So like,
Yeah.
there is a chance that
There are
another
Republican gays.
right. But like, I mean, like, there is a chance that another hockey player might be like, well, it's okay that I'm gay and that I have a normal partner, but it's like fucked up that these two hockey players are dating each other. You know, like, it's not a given that a gay person is going to be okay with Shane and Ilya.
Yeah.
So then Ilya is like, well, I thought that we should go on a double date. And Yuna's like, I love that idea. And also, maybe you should tell the rest of the staff. I love the way that Yuna advocates for Ilya in this book consistently.
Yeah.
She really stands up for him to Shane. And I think that I love that because, one, I love Ilya having a mom. And I love that Yuna loves Shane like no other and understands Shane in a way that no one will ever understand Shane. And so she knows how to get into Shane's brain and go, I know how your brain is working right now,
Right.
you know? And I know but I also am looking at your partner and seeing things that you're not seeing because of the way that your brain works.
And I also love that she's just not on Shane's side regardless. Like, she is willing to call Shane out when he is stupid, and she is also willing to be on Ilya's side when Ilya is right. It's also just the way that Shane is just looking for reasons to not come out to people. Like, he's like, well, I think Leah and Max would be safe, but like, we don't really know them that well. So like, what's the point? The point is, like, Ilya is dying for you to claim him publicly. Like, that's exactly the kind of person that you should come out to. Like, the stakes could not be lower, and you have just shown Ilya that, like, you care about him in this way, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Shane, come on.
What?
So I thought it was really interesting that Shane is like, yeah, but like, I don't know them very well. So like, what's the point? I'm like, okay, so you're saying that there has to be a big emotional weight, a big importance to everything, every person you come out to, there has to be a big important something. But if there were, that would also be your excuse to not tell them.
Maybe he
Yeah.
also thinks he's burdening everyone with this too.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I do think that this secret is tearing him apart, and it's tearing Ilya apart. And he's like, this is a burden that I am bestowing onto people, which, in a sense. So Ilya also suggests telling Wyatt, which he should. Wyatt would be cool about it. Wyatt has a gay sister. Not that all queer people and people connected to queer people are allies, but like, Wyatt Hayes absolutely is. And Shane says he doesn't want Ilya's goalie to know because it is quote unquote too weird. I hate this more than the your mom isn't texting you line. Because it's like, and Yuna even points out, like, Hayden knows. Why doesn't Ilya get to have a teammate who knows?
Yeah, but Hayden's my best friend, and it's like my best friend knows, not my teammate knows.
And I mean, it may just be, like, I've read so many fanfics, and, like, the Ottawa Centaurs are my close personal friends, and I'm just like the fact
Defending
that Ilya,
Wyatt Hayes to Shane Hollander is not enough. You need a gun.
Yes. Defending Wyatt Hayes online is not enough. I'm going to take the gun that I used to defend Shane Hollander and use it to defend Wyatt I'm turning my gun on Shane Hollander to defend Wyatt. Because, like, and I mean, I know Shane doesn't know the Centaurs, but, like, I know the Centaurs. They're my close personal friends. And, like, the fact that Ilya could have this, like, found family with his team and is keeping that from himself for Shane is devastating to me.
I mean, does Ilya not talk about the Centaurs to Shane, like, in a way where he could understand that relationship is strong?
Ilya doesn't spend time with the Centaurs.
Yeah, I don't think their relationship is strong. I don't think Ilya really knows the Centaurs beyond, like, work. They're colleagues. They could and should be more. He should be going to Boots barbecues. He should be, like, real friends with these people, but he's not.
they're different than Boston for sure, but I think that's because they're queer as fuck. Or like at least they're
But not yet.
chill.
Not yet they're not.
Yeah, but the vibe is there.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I think I'm also looking at it from somebody who like knows where they're going to be by the end of this book, you know?
Yeah.
Because like right now there's not an out player on the Centaurs. And like, I mean, I would assume that Ilya knows that Wyatt has a gay sister because that would be why Wyatt ended up at the camps, I think.
And to be honest, you know what? Who knows we don't really know anything about the current coach.
That is true. Yeah, because they are about to get a
Weeb
new
is
coach.
not in yet.
Yeah.
So we don't know what this coach that they have right now is like at all. We don't know what the vibe change was like with Weeb. We have Harris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have Harris.
And everybody is chill with Harris in the locker room.
Right.
So the vibe is at least like
I forgot about Harris,
wears
despite
pride
him
flag
literally being
pins.
mentioned in this chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just think it's so weird for be like, I don't want your goalie to know. Like, I just feel like that's a weird way to say that.
It's weird for your goalie to know.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
Shane also says, like, Hayden's my best friend. You know, you don't see me telling JJ. It is hilarious that Ilya's like, can I tell him? He's such a bitch, and I love him so much. Shane says JJ isn't ready to hear about them. Una says neither was she, but she got over it. And Shane's like, JJ isn't my mom. Okay. And Una says, well, your mom is the one making dinner at the end of a long day while you sit on your butt and mope. Come help. And Ilya says, I'm helping. And Una says, I know you are. That's why you're my favorite son. And so Ilya grinned at Shane, who tried to look annoyed, but mostly failed because his eyes had gone soft.
Right. You would expect Shane to be competitive over that shit, but he's like, no, that means a lot to me because I care so much about Ilya and my family.
He's like, my mom loves my boy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Shane spent so long wanting nothing more than for his parents and Ilya to just exist in the same room. And I think the fact that they love him is like beyond his wildest dreams.
This is where I have to tell a cutesy story about my mom and Mac, which is that when I started dating Mac, my mom had very choice transphobic things to say, mainly because there was also a lot of other emotions. And like, I mean, there's no excusing it, but still, like, that's fast forward to now where my mom will correct other people who misgender Mac. We'll hug him first when we come visit. We'll ask me about him every time we're on a phone call, like just for some cutesy stuff between, you know, mom and boyfriend / fiance.
I have seen people online trying to villainize this line of being like, that's really disrespectful to Shane. I can't believe she would say that. That's really hurtful. I mean, people are really up in arms about literally everything, but
listen, at this point, I bring up this line every so often. You think your boos mean anything to me? I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah. Well, I think this fandom is so starved for content at this point, we have to start fights. Like, that's the truth of it. Yeah, he loves this. And later, they sat around the table and toasted their successful first day of camp with glasses of water. They ate their healthy, Shane-approved dinner and talked about hockey and the charity and decor ideas for Shane's house.
Is that diet mention number 3?
Number 3, yeah.
They talked hockey, the charity, decor ideas for Shane's house, plans for the rest of the summer. It felt as it always did to Ilya, wonderful and surreal at the same time. He'd never expected to have this domestic comfort in his life, not with anyone. He'd never expected to be part of a family and have parents again. He would do absolutely everything to protect this, and he was constantly terrified that when it came to it, he wouldn't be able to, because the day would come.
Ugh, just being so adamant that day would come.
Yeah.
Like,
zoink, Scoob!
Not if. And it's also like, this is so his dream almost like realized, but under the shadow of it being someone else's life. Like, Shane's
if I
reality.
say it out loud, I can't have it.
Shane and Una go to clean up. Ilya goes outside and starts talking to his mom. He says he thinks she'd like what they did today and hopes she's proud.
Crying.
I'm crying.
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 Not crying, you're crying.
I'm crying. Sorry,
crowning.
it came out wrong.
I'm crowning. Wait a minute. Whoa.
Holy shit.
This time he does say it in Russian, though.
Yeah. And Ilya says he only speaks to his mom like this because he still hasn't sorted out his feelings regarding He still hasn't sorted out his feelings regarding his father, who never had a nice word to say about him. Yikes. Ilya's friend Harris, back in Ottawa, swore there was a ghost living in his parents' house, a great uncle or something. Ilya didn't think he believed in ghosts, but he clung to the idea that his mother's spirit was with him somehow. He needed her to be. And I'm like, Harris mentioned! Ooh.
I don't know who Harris is, but I'm glad you're happy he's here.
But also, I'm like, okay, so you call Harris a friend, but also, like, Harris doesn't know anything about Ilya. Like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but he, like, talks about Ilya in Role Model and is like, yeah, we don't know a whole lot about Ilya. Like, he's here for all the team stuff.
Ilya considers Harris a friend because Ilya feels safe around Harris.
Yeah.
Because Harris is so proud of and open about his queerness that perhaps, because Ilya never has been until just now, these first chapters, this is new to us, Ilya being open and okay with his queerness, right? Because in that epilogue, when they get caught, it says that, like, Ilya literally doesn't look like he cares when they get caught. He's like, oh, relax, Shane. He's not going to tell anyone. Right, Ryan? And so I think that confidence and that carefree air about him that he has now is kind of like an osmosis thing from Harris. Getting to see Harris out and proud and loud and his team being chill about it. Shane comes outside, says,
What?
hey, mom has gone to sleep. But instead of saying, hey, my mom's gone to sleep, he says, hey, mom's gone to bed. Mom. Just mom. Not my mom. Mom.
Listen, okay, so maybe we should go back to the situationship because maybe it's a little weird. Not husbands to just have this cat. I would definitely, like, Mac would definitely say your mom, or I would definitely say his dad. Like, we would not just
Your mom.
He would not just be like, so mom called, and I'm like, why the calling? What?
I also love that they just kind of hold each other for a bit, Shane and Ilya.
Shane comes home. He's changed
What?
into sweat shorts and a Montreal shirt. Boy, do you own anything but Montreal merch? Anything? Anything?
I am currently doing this podcast in a shirt from my softball team, so I feel seen by Shane wearing merch for his team.
So Shane suggests going to bed, and Ilya says sure. But then instead of doing anything about that, they end up just holding each other. And Ilya is rocking Shane side to side.
And the quote that ends this chapter: he closed his eyes and focused on how good it felt to be with Shane, alone in the dark, and tried not to wish it could be the same in the light. We've established so many things that it's like, you can't even focus, like, on your first read of this book, you can't even focus on like what do I need to be taking in right now? Because, like, Rachel has given us so much information, and some of it is going to pan out in a big way, and some of it is not. And I think, like, that's what's so fun about this book is you're just like, there's a lot of things being thrown at me right now, and I'm overwhelmed and I'm stressed and I'm, like, worried for these two that I love, and just
Nope, it's stress.
Robert, welcome to the long game. How are you feeling?
This is certainly going to be a long game. That was 2 chapters out of what? Here's the thing. There's no table of contents in this one. I want to complain.
There's like 40 chapters.
Okay. There's no table of contents, so I don't know if there's an epilogue at the end or an extra bonus story that's, long game starts on page 7, but my lunch with Hayden starts on page 307.
God, I'm still mad about the heated rivalry table of contents, if anyone was wondering. Yeah, it is a long book, and we intend to talk about this book and also Role Model when we get to it. We have, I think, like 7 or 8 dedicated long game episodes before we even touch Role Model, because there's just, like, so much long game stuff to talk about. But yeah, we will be doing this until February because it's just so much. And because we're yappers, we cannot do more than 2 chapters at a time.
This shit's gonna fucking hurt, bruh.
That shit hurted.
That shit hurted real bad.
Yeah, the game is long, and so is Ilya's dick.
And hard, yeah.
Yeah. Emily, do you want to plug your podcast and things again?
And Shane Hollander.
And Shane Hollander. Yeah, you can follow this Shaniac at... my personal is MEM Reads What. And you can follow the podcast at Believe in Anything Pod. And I would like to say, the last episode I called the tone of my podcast somber, which is actually not how I describe it. And I would like to right the wrong of why I describe my podcast in that way. That's a terrible way to describe a podcast. I would say it's upbeat. It's chill. It's
Come
fun.
listen to my podcast. It's a fucking bummer, bro.
It's really upsetting. Like, the worst adjective to describe it. Anyway, come listen
Bring
for
me
an
and
actual
Camille on the
election.
pod.
Yeah,
Anyway.
literally. But yeah, that's where to find me.
All right. Well, if that's all, so long, fellow losers. The Pit Crew podcast is created and produced by us, Robert, Mal, and Camille. It's edited by Robert. You can find us on Threads, Instagram, and YouTube at Pit Crew Podcast. If you feel so inclined, please consider supporting us by subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/pitcrewpodcast. You can also find our merch at Pit Crew Shop on Etsy. Our art is by Rand Pacoca. He can be found on Instagram at Rand Pacoca. All patient questions and concerns can be emailed to pitcrewpodcast@gmail.com. This isn't a Taco Bell, but we do appreciate a 5-star rating and a review wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to schedule a follow-up appointment with a nurse before you go. See you next time. He's purring.
Thank you.
ASMR? Can we hear
Did
the
you hear
purrs?
it? Wait, hold on. Around. His butthole
He's-
is
he's-
against my
he's
nose.
busy.
Around.
Well, he is Shane.
Little baby.
You got anything
Shane.
to say to the fans? Every time I walk into the room and here he goes.
Rip Shane
I don't
Hollander
think it's
fell on
worth
the ice.
jumping over. Jesus.
Rip Shane Hollander. Rip Shane Hollander fell on the ice just like he did in that one fic.
No, that's literally.
And just like he did in the books and in the show, Robert, stop pretending that that's unique to the show.
No, it's only unique to that fic. Baby 00 or Baby 00, however they like to pronounce their username on AO3, is the creator behind Shane falling.
I'm gonna have to actually read that fanfic and add it to the spreadsheet,
You
aren't I?
haven't read it? Oh, I'm adding it to the
No!
spreadsheet right now.
I
It's a
love
good-
myself, Robert.
It's a good fic. Listen, and
I
then
may look like a
subsequently,
burnt chicken nugget, but I love
And-
myself.
and then subsequently, the fic ends with a lot of sad stuff.
Yes.
Another thing I'm
Can
going to
you
get
see
Connor.
him in high def now?
Yes,
wait,
and
sorry.
he's cuntily crossing his paws.
Wait. Oh my gosh, he's perfect. He's perfect.
Shane, talk to us. Talk, Valentina.
Did he just chirp me?
No.
Hope next time we podcast, you decide to show up.
He's on mute. He keeps going,
We'll turn him
Shane.
off.
say something, dude.
Squish him.
What's something that Ilya says to him that he says "fuck you" about?
Everything.
Oh, do you want to know what it feels like holding the cup?
I was going to go.
Describe it, Hollander.
I was going to go
Fucking
for.
asshole.
He said,
Go
"Get the-"
for. Oh fuck.
Oh my god, Hollander.
I
you are
cannot
so
wait to
boring.
see that baby next week.
Oh my god, Hollander.
He's
you are so boring.
perfect. How long do you get to keep him for?
I don't let people adopt kittens from me unless they've been fixed. So he will probably be with me for a month or so. Robert, you need to stop smoking, please. We don't want
But I
you
like
to die.
smoking.
Yeah, but we don't want you to die.
I'll be able to relate to Ilya.
Not the
Okay.
cough and the Pepsi
Say-
Max.
Say something so that we can start
Shane, we
talking.
need to move on. So please say
Please?
something.
Yeah, you ever just take a hit and then you cough into the Pepsi Max? It's fantastic.
Want.
Or
Were you silent or were you silenced?
You guys were talking and you didn't hear it. Thing. You're on mute, guy.
I was told you were recording.
That's actually
He's
what he
so
looked like
shit.
after he got hit by Cliff Marlowe.
Mm.
Just probably in the
Okay.
fic that Robert
You have
read.
one last shot, my dude.
He's so
What fifth?
Say
tiny.
something. Say it.
If you meow at him, will he meow
Say
back?
He was silent again. Come on.
Was he silent?
We already made that joke, Robert. Fuck you.
Take it again.
Again, you guys were talking.
I'm sorry.
Hear him. Trying to tell you things and you keep talking over him.
Shane, what
One
is
more
it,
time,
baby?
Shane. One more time, honey. You are warm, dude. He's just.
I love him.
Shane.
Oh, I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby.
What else? Say one more thing.
Not the paw on the mic.
I just love how he's.
Does he have any
Y'all.
bones?
Fill him up with milk so he has a little belly and you can go like. "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr."
No milk.
He's so funny.
Shane. He's a shake weight.
That cat's so unbothered. It's so great.
Yeah.
I know.
So un-
Like, what is
That's
wrong
not
with you
Shane
right now,
Hollander.
dude? Are you okay?
He's camera shy.
I love his little fucked up tail.
That's the thing he's sensitive about.
He's
Why would you
staring
pick
at
his
my
insecurity? Okay, so what's the code word if we need Shane time?
We need to see Shane.
We need
Ginger
to see
ale.
Shane.
That's the
Ginger
safe word
ale.
if we need Shane. Ginger ale, yeah.
Yeah, ginger ale is a safe word.
Okay, we'll have
Um,
him on standby.
Okay.
Well, I have to tell everyone about Shane.
Again?
Okay.
So, the story, the short story of Shane Hollander. I was at work on Tuesday. There was a knock on the door of my office, and I opened the door, and I was pissed off because who dares knock on my door at 7:03 a.m. And it was the security guard, and he was holding this baby, this tiny little kitten. And this kitten had ridden the day before on Monday over an hour in someone's engine to the office. Then she realized when she got to work, some other people tried to catch him. They could not. I don't know why they didn't just tell me. I could have caught him. And then he spent the night in the thunderstorms in the parking lot by himself on Monday night. And then Tuesday morning, someone finally caught him. They brought him to me, and I have taken him home. I took him to the vet. The vet says he is okay, but he's about 4.5 weeks old. He only weighs 1 pound, which is, I mean, that's good. That's good for his age. He's chunky. He is trying to attack
1
me.
pound of clappable material.
Yeah. Well, not something we support on this pod. But so I do, if you don't know this about me, I do rescue and foster kittens occasionally. So this is not the first time I've done this, but I will be caring for him. I will get him fixed and vaccinated and tested and all of the good things, and then I will find him a forever home. So if you're in the Nashville area, or you know anyone in the Nashville area, and you would like a little kitten named Shane Hollander, he has already been spotted in Reebok, one of them.
A singular
so
Reebok.
Shout out to my neighbor, Susie, and her husband for giving me one single Reebok. They said, when you're done with it, you can throw it away. It's old anyway. And they left it at my door for me.
Stinky shoe.
So if you want to see pictures of him, he's all over our social media. But yeah, that's Shane Hollander. And I called him that because he was crying a lot in the car on the way to the vet, and I was trying to comfort him, and I just kept saying, yeah, I know Shane. And then they were like, it's a boy. And I was like, well, there
was
it is.
already calling him Shane.